It's Tuesday. It's June 30th. It's the last day of June. Guys, we are almost into July, which means we have a little over 2 months until the real shit starts happening. Tonight, a very special guest. You know him. You love him from the Patreon, from the Discord, from the chats, and specifically from the best ball drafts, sniping all of our picks. We call him, his real name is Derek Richardson. We call him Mr. Free Throw. That is his tag. But actually, he's the American sniper. He is Chris Kyle. Derek, what's up, homie?
Hey, what's going on, man? Excited to be here.
Hell yeah. So we had you on the Dynasty Show for a little bit. I'm glad to actually have you on. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support. This guy is a pivotal member of this community, of this family, of this channel. We can't do it without people like you. And I just want to butter you up a little bit. This guy is the man. He's a little older, if you can't tell, but 51 years old. I always say you're 52. 51 years old. You've heard the expressions back in the day, like when kids are younger, they're like, well, he's in fourth grade, but he reads at like an eighth grade level. Derek is 51, but he plows like a college level. This dude's still crushing. He's playing ball. He's crushing. And also, you're just elite at best ball. Your rise to best ball, like, fandom and just these teams has just been impressive, man. What is up with this shit? You got to explain this to the community.
Honestly, I owe a lot, all of that to you. Really, just kind of learning it. I've never played best ball until the last couple months when I jumped in them with you guys. And
Come on, this is your first year?
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here. Bullshit.
I never even knew what best ball was before.
Holy hell, dude! This is unreal. Fucking Chris Kyle, dude. God, it's one thing. It's one thing to take guys I like and to take guys we talk about. It's one thing to take those players, but your builds, like everything, is just fucking awesome. Like it's just awesome, and I commend you. And you know what? You're gonna cost me some money, but knowing Derek, he's the guy that's gonna invest in this channel. If he wins 20 grand, he's gonna fucking drop some of that on this channel, right? Are you gonna say that live on air?
Absolutely.
All right, we're rooting for Derek. We're rooting for Derek.
Yeah, that's been what drew me to this channel anyway. When I first tuned in during last football season, loved your just the shows and all, but your interaction with the chat and answering all the questions and just the vibes were good. So I've enjoyed it, and that's why I support, and gonna keep doing that.
And you watch a lot, which is impressive.
Even when you make it big time.
Well, the thing is, I am not going to forget the people that got me here and kept me through the tough times. But not just you, but there's a lot of guys. You know the guys I'm talking about. I can't even name them all by name, but you guys are impressive with the loyalty, which, for me, it's not been great returns. I mean, it's a nice trajectory, I would say, and it's a very loyal fan base, which is the biggest thing. It's very grassroots, but like the fact that, I'm a guy that I consume a lot of media, a lot of podcasts, Bill Simmons, like among others, that I will watch almost all their stuff based on, the time of year of what they're doing. But like, we're talking about Bill Simmons, we're talking about Joe Rogan, like the goats in the industries. And for you guys to be watching as much of me, and, the guests are awesome too. There's Storey, there's Ray, the list goes on. But it's flattering, and I think I'm on the right path because I put out a lot of shit. Like there's no channel that puts out more than we do. We're live every night, and a lot of people do like that seasonally for like an hour or two. Like, dude, we're like breaking ground at like 4 hours of show now. It's a lot, and it's a lot of me. So I guess you guys are buying in on me, which my wife bought out on me. I still don't know why she did that, because she's a fucking sweetheart. And she's a 10, and I'm a 5. But I have a good personality and an average sized penis, and that goes a long way, Derek.
Absolutely. And hey, you'll never catch Joe Rogan or Bill Simmons on their podcast wearing their wife's shirt talking about how hot Brad Pitt is. So
it's a wild episode. Dude, all those old ones they're pretty bad, but like me and Kappa's vibe, there's a lot.
Kappa was so uncomfortable.
I know. I pushed him in some of those segments, but it's almost like if this show does hit, it's gonna be a great like reference point of just like to watch where we came from, and just the idea of the show, that was the idea of the show, was like something like that. Like, we're going to go off the cuff and what we talk about normally, which is funny that I'm saying that's what we talk about. But if you know me, and I think you're starting to know me, Those are normal conversations I have with everyday people. At a grocery store, I'm like, hey, you think Brad Pitt's hot? Would you fuck him? And person's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to fucking break the ice, you know?
I'm a lot the same, to be honest. I was glad to see you had Jennifer Lopez on your list. So,
well, I had to give some Latina love. You know what I mean?
She's one of my top.
I was a big Shakira fan too. All right, let's hop into this draft though, and we can chat all about Shakira and Jennifer Lopez and Brad Pitt. Hopefully, maybe Helen Hunt if she'll make an appearance. Let's do a sit and go because again, the Dalmatian's already over, dude. There's again no tournaments on there besides like the Eliminator and all the big ones. So I have the drop down here, 2026 slate. We have half of a full room already. So do you see the one I'm talking about, Derek? I think it's 5 or 6 full.
I see 6 of 12.
There it is. Now we have. Let's see. There it is. Now we're waiting for 5. So hop on there. Anyone else that wants to draft with us, Connor, whoever else wants to draft with us, it is the $3 12-person sit and go. Waiting on 3 people. You got in there? We're good?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Hopefully you're not next to me. I want you to be on the other side of the board. Actually, you know what? I want you in a different room. So back out and get yourself in a fucking $5 sit and go.
Just don't put me in that, what was it, 7 or 8 slot last night. Man, that team was going to be so good. That team was going to be so good. And I just
No, it wasn't going to be so good. It was going to be okay. You set the bar high. That was not a great team. And you know, you're going to see. Now you're on the show. You got to grade these teams. It's not an easy job because I love all you guys. And it's tough to tell someone. It's like telling your wife she's fat. Like, no one wants to tell their wife that, but like sometimes they need to hear it. And sometimes we need to hear we had shit teams, and including myself. Rarely do I give myself less than a C, and I think, Derek, it's because I don't draft C teams. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, for the most part, you're always going to be in the top half. Even when yours, you know, based on, like I said, I'm new to it, based on what I know, but you know,
the best way to grade these teams though is build, because we can go all day on I like this player, I don't like this player. Like we're weathermen, even myself, Storey, all of us in the community. I'm a co-host. Like I have convictions on a certain number of players, like really strong convictions every year, 5 to 10. And then I have my leans, right? And then I have my, like, these are all toss-ups because we don't know the scheme. Like, there's so many variables, right? So, like, people that are going to grade a team based on I like this player, I don't like this player, like, that is a losing strategy, and that's not the like what we're trying to go for here, right? We're trying to get better at best ball, and a big part of best ball is how we build the teams, right? Like, how does the team look? Like, does this make sense? How much capital do you put in this position, that position, the stacks, all those kind of things? That's the biggest thing that I think people, miss in best ball.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you take 3 out of your first 4 picks, you got, 3 stud running backs, then you don't want to take a 5th one in the 8th round.
Yeah, I think I taught you that.
Yeah, exactly. And I am
all right.
11.
Yes, I'm at 6. Okay, Montana is at 5. We have Connor at 9, Derek at 11. I think it's just us 4 in here. So we have a chance to have a really good draft here. The more people in here, generally, the worse the grades will be, and just, the more watered down the teams will be, because we're just not going to get as much value, when there's 9 fucking people in here. Because most of the people we have in here are sharp.
Is it me
I'm
or
just kidding,
Montana?
Mouth. I'm just kidding, Mouth. What's up?
Does Montana end up in the top 5 every draft?
Always. And Jake always ends up at 7 or 8. And even though Jake makes some banger teams from that slot, and hopefully Jake joins us tonight. But what's up, Disbanded? We got Disbanded. He always drops a little period here. If he was a girl, I would say you got to get your plumbing checked, because you can't be having a period every day, brother. That was a bad joke. All right. Shout out Disbanded. We had Connor in here. We have Blake in here. What's up, Blake? Shout out to Blake, media manager of the channel, making the freshest thumbnails and graphics for me. I can't do this shit without you, Blake, and I can't wait for the near future, maybe the distant future, whenever it is, where you become my Jamie and I have you in-house. I have you living in a bungalow behind my house, kind of like Kato Kalin lived behind OJ. Hopefully you don't find a fucking glove, because that wouldn't be good. I'm not going to kill anybody, guys. All right, get my shit up here. I'm on the clock. There we go.
I hate this spot.
I love the 6th spot, man. 6th spot's money. Mostly just for the second round, right? Like the top 3 is nice, but you get a pretty shitty second round pick sometimes. Like you get George Pickens, like players like that. I'm not saying I hate George Pickens, but Clear drop off after the top 18, I want to say.
But you can still get you're going to get a stud receiver, and then unless you took it looks like you took a running back. Who'd you take?
Yeah, I took
Taylor.
JT, because I'm fine with going running back. And usually I understand the appeal of going receiver. Like if JSN fell to me, I usually go there because typically all the receivers are gone. You can maybe get Drake London in the second round, but I think I like the tier of A-Chain, Derrick Henry, Marion Hampton, as much as I'm not a Hampton guy, in the second round. But I love going running back because then you just pound receivers, dude.
Yeah. I don't mind, and because right there it ended up decent for me. I like to get CeeDee Lamb in that 10-11 spot instead of some of those running, because after JT, I feel like the running backs, I'd rather get that second round running back like a Walker and A-Chain. Genty just fell to me. So
McCaffrey just fell to 10, and I guess the letter of the law here is that after McCaffrey, and I put Barkley in the first tier as well, but after McCaffrey, Barkley, Cook, Hampton, Genty, Walker, A-Chain, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry, it's very flat. It's
all
a nice
the same.
tier. They're all, in theory, they're all the same, and that's kind of what I feel about the wide receivers at the 2-3 turn, right? When you start getting to George Pickens, Devonta Smith, or Rasheed Rice. I put those guys a little higher, but then you get Olave, Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Neighbors.
Yeah.
Those guys are all kind of the same. The upside, maybe the floor is higher on some than the other, but you got it. It's really tiered this year, at least for what I'm looking at. And I can't wait for redraft because people make a lot more reaches in redraft, and they want, a lot of guys only play 1 or 2 leagues, and they want to get their guys. And I play 40 fucking leagues. I'm like, I'll take value. I don't care. Thank you for that.
I'm excited for redrafts because I feel like I'll be way more prepared than normal.
I mean, that's why I even started doing best ball in the first place, because obviously the money is nice, like winning, but it's, mock drafts are just such garbage, and you're not learning anything from a mock draft. And this is practice, right? It's practice with some stakes and, the upside, especially in tournaments, of winning big. But if we could just make our money back in best ball, typically, if you're a big redraft player, the knowledge and the trends and ADP changes, all those things are so valuable. And then, when you're drafting a redraft league, I go to my home leagues, some of them are, offline drafts with the board. Everyone's got fucking laptops and notes, and they're just fucking grime. It's like, dude, I have nothing. Kind of how I went to high school. I don't even have a pen. I'm just I know who's off the board. I know who's available. I know who I want. I know where these guys should go. And it's like anything else, right? If you're prepared for a test, you're going to have a lot better grade. If you go unprepared, you're going to not even finish the test. Nico Collins off at 212. So I'm glad I took JT because all the running backs were gone. Look at that run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight running backs from the 112 to the 206. That's a run right there. Derek with Genty and CeeDee Lamb. That's pretty good value on both those guys. American Sniper in full force here. Can't wait to beat your team right now.
Speaking of the sniping, I do want to clarify that Rashid Shaheed has always been one of my guys. And I love the fit in Seattle. I love even at the end of the season when he was just kind of working himself in, this year he's going to take over that number 2 spot full, and man, I like that.
That's the hope, right? And
especially where he's going.
The other thing is this defense is most it's gonna go south. I'm not saying Seattle's going south. Defense means they're number 3 instead of number 1. The defense will take a step back, and Sam Darnold's playing on house money, bro. He is going to be so comfortable. Think of how, especially in Minnesota, his career was on the line, and then he has this awesome year in Minnesota. They should have won the division. Should have been the number 1 seed. They should have won 15 games. He lays a stinker against Detroit week 18. And they get bounced first round. He plays terrible. So he has pressure now going to Seattle. And then still last year, playing with some of that pressure, they win the Super Bowl. Now it doesn't matter for Sam Darnold. He is playing. He's like that NBA player that's on a heater. It's dude, it's heat check time. I can throw picks. I can make mistakes. I'm not losing my job. I just won a Super Bowl. Time to just play free and easy. And Sam Darnold's one of those quarterbacks that has the ability, when he's playing free and easy, to light it up. We have yet to see that. We saw it a little bit in Minnesota, but I'm saying Patrick Mahomes level arm talents light it up. And I think he's been underrated as a talent even back when he was drafted. Like, he was drafted top 5 for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Kyron Genty and CeeDee Lamb for Derek. We got a question here. We got Fantasy Dog in here. What's going on, brother? New member of the community. Appreciate you as always. We have Kyle. Thoughts on A.J. Brown and Rashee Rice? I think we got this question the other day. So A.J. Brown's flying up boards. I still personally want Drake London over A.J. Brown. Let's start there. What do you think?
I would agree, and I think AJ is getting closer. Hang on one second. I'm on the clock. Ooh.
See, I'm so glad I got Derek on here because now, like, you know how Ray struggles with the streams. It is tough. Like,
I'm not going to pull a Ray and get auto drafted.
No. But you still have a third of the work to do. You don't got to deal with the chat or clips or anything like that. You just got to talk a little bit. And I want to actually have you draft a bad team. I know you did the last time, the last draft, but I need every advantage I can get against Derek. Like the what's the saying? Like, I was a teacher and now you're the fucking master. Like, you have taken that, and at least at best ball recently. And I've drafted good teams, guys, but like, I don't know, I say 70% of the drafts you have better grades than me, and it's concerning.
You should be proud. But no,
these are money drafts, you prick. I'm not proud. I want to win.
I do still like Drake London over AJ Brown, but it is getting closer. And I mean, by the time redraft comes around, AJ Brown may be in front of Drake London on the ADP. So I don't know. I still prefer Drake London, and then if he does pass him up, if AJ, what I'm saying, if AJ Brown shoots up too much, like, I'm going to be off of him. I really like him. I think it's going to be a great situation, but he may become too expensive.
He is already becoming too expensive. I mean,
it's close.
And I love it with Drake May. I think Drake May is going to have a step back, and that's not saying a lot. He can have a step back, still have an awesome year, but we can't anoint Drake May just like we shouldn't have anointed Jaden Daniels last year. We anointed CJ Stroud. Like, we have to learn from these things because NFL is hard, and their schedule was really cupcake last year. But beyond that, like, a full year of film on the guy. Like, the NFL is, as much as Storey hates coaches, there's good coaches out there. They make adjustments, and you saw Drake May. Granted, he was playing hurt in the Super Bowl, but he played awful in the Super Bowl.
A lot of that was scheduled too. I mean, their schedule is so cake.
Actually, no. Drake May played bad in the playoffs, right? It wasn't even just the Super Bowl. Like, he was not playing great. He had to play Denver. He had to play some really tough defenses. But like, that's what he's gonna have to play this year. Now, AJ Brown's gonna help all that. And I still love Drake May as ADP, but to say that Drake May is Josh Allen is to slap in the face to Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen has earned the right to be the best quarterback in the league, fantasy and real life. And anyone that disputes that isn't really watching football.
I almost wore my University of Wyoming shirt today.
Just like, literally a year ago at this time, when I started the streams, I was on record saying I think Josh Allen's better than Patrick Mahomes. Not accolades, like wins and Super Bowls, but I said he's not way better, but he's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes. And I got blasted. People like, dude, Patrick Mahomes is way better. And now, literally, fast forward 10 months, Derek, people are telling me I'm an idiot for saying Patrick Mahomes is a value, and I took Patrick Mahomes in Dynasty and all this stuff, and they're like, Patrick Mahomes sucks. I'm like, dude, these are the same people that were telling me that Patrick Mahomes is better than Josh Allen. Like, this recency bias is how we make money, because people overreact to everything, not just sports. They overreact to everything. That's what they want to do. And we want to kind of get away from that overreaction and go with body of work. What's most likely to happen? What's most likely to happen is Patrick Mahomes is a top 10 fantasy quarterback. I feel like that's actually light. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. As long as he can stay healthy. I've always been a big Mahomes fan. God damn it. Another one, talking about jumping the gun last year. A lot of people were so high on Bo Nix, and like, he just had kind of a normal pedestrian year.
Well, you heard, I don't know if you heard the show, but we talked about the AFC West, and we dove into Bo Nix stats. And Bo Nix is like top 3 all time in terms of time to pass in his career. And like, it's only been 2 years, yes, but like, I love Bo Nix coming out. But the situation, his receivers haven't been great, but he has Sean Payton. And now you have what appears to be he's had a pretty all-time offensive line, at least in pass blocking. Like, most quarterbacks are going to succeed with time to pass. They're NFL level passers. Like, they're really good. And what if that takes a step back? What if they have a league average offensive line this year? What if there's some injuries? That's why like Justin Herbert is criminally underrated, because he's always had a bad offensive line. And unlike C.J. Stroud, now C.J. Stroud's actually winning playoff games. The team's winning playoff games. But Justin Herbert's actually succeeding in fantasy and in terms of passing numbers with a shitty-ass offensive line. So I don't think Bo Nix is that level of player, right? Justin Herbert can make it work. Even Mahomes struggled with that, right, when the offensive line was a shit. Josh Allen's the best example of offensive line doesn't matter with Josh Allen. Receivers don't matter with Josh Allen. He's going to will the team to the playoffs every single year. That's why he's the best quarterback in the league.
What he's done with the skill players he's had. I mean, James Cook obviously is really good. He's better than I thought he could be. But yeah, receivers, tight ends, like he's never really had a ton of help. Doomsday falls to me. Good.
Wow, that's pretty late. Do you think that James Cook's overrated though? Because I like James Cook. I think he's in a great situation. How many tackles have you seen James Cook break in his career?
Well, so if we're talking real football player, yes, I think he is overrated. And that's why I was kind of off of him last year, because I didn't think he could repeat 18 touchdowns. But I mean, he still had an amazing year. He's a better fantasy player than he is a real football player. But again, I think that has a lot to do with Josh Allen.
All right, we have a weird team here. We're just gonna take. I don't know. I got auto pick Luther Burden because bullshit, and not because I was distracted, because my app is like weird sometimes and it doesn't let me make my selection. I didn't have Terry McLaurin queued up, which I'm fine with Luther Burden there. And then all the running backs
Antonio Brown. How could you not?
Correct. Yeah. And then all the running backs go Henderson, Tootin, Irving, Judkins, Montgomery, Swift right before me. So I want to take a running back there in the Jamal Williams spot. So I think we're going to dive into this receiver team and pair up some running backs, which I love in tournaments because the inherent upside of these, RB2s in their team, if they become the starter for X amount of weeks, is elite. In a sit and go, we're not going to bank on that. We need tried and true production week by week. So this build, I will just say, is not ideal. There's some players that I do like. See if they can fall to me. I do like this tier of running back coming up, but it is not great. There goes all the quarterbacks. I figured me taking Joe Burrow, in general, I wanted to get ahead of it because I don't think any of those elite guys are going to be available for me in the 7th round. Caleb and Jalen Hurts will most definitely go. I think Dak Prescott might go before I pick, which will leave me a pretty nice group of running backs to take here for my running back 2. There goes DK. Fuck. I love DK. Do you like DK this year?
I do. I think he's going to be able to do more. Having Pittman there, I think, is actually going to help him.
I agree, dude. I like DK every year, and DK is the example of like a really good actor that just gets the wrong parts, and next thing you know, he's out of Hollywood. And like, I'm trying to think of an example of a specific name. I can give you an actress and one close to my heart, Diane Lane, who I feel like had a very underutilized.
She was on your list.
On my list, dude, I'm a very big Diane Lane fan.
Yeah,
and maybe she's a bad actress, but I think she's very genuine. And being genuine as a female actress, really pays off. Or someone like Angelina Jolie could never play a normal part ever because she's not a normal person. She's kind of a mutant and a fucking subhuman. Very attractive, right? Very sexy. But like, do you ever buy Angelina Jolie being like a housewife? Like, it can't happen because it doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in nature. Diane Lane can play all these parts, and DK Metcalf is the prototype of an X receiver that is just, dude, he's got everything we want. Why can't he become Dez Bryant? Why hasn't he become Dez Bryant? Because he's more physically gifted than Dez Bryant. I think his hands are as good as Dez Bryant's hands. I think, you're a Dallas guy. You love Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was awesome, and he he had that 4-year peak, and DK has had a 1-year peak, and it was his second year. Super weird.
That dude is a specimen too. It's crazy.
He just never, DK has never, like, he hasn't grown as a player from year one, where it's like, yeah, we never thought DK would be like a zone beater, but you think that he would have like adapted to the NFL and been like understanding like pockets of zone and coverage. And like, I feel like that's the only answer. That's the only answer we can give for why DK Metcalf is always falling at wide receiver 27 in fantasy, and also real life being a disappointment, because there's just no reason for it. Because it's not like he's a George Pickens. Like DK has his issues with anger, but he hustles every play. He's not out there lollygagging and pouting. Like I'll never figure it out. I don't want to try to.
Yeah, like it. I agree. He's always had his issues, but he's never been like. I mean, he's not like he doesn't seem like a diva receiver. So
no, farthest thing from a diva.
It's hard to understand.
Oh, I really hate this team, dude. There goes Warren, Pollard, and Stevenson is all the guys I wanted. And I'm stuck with RJ Harvey, who Mouth will grade this team well because he loves RJ Harvey. So does Kappa. You're not about RJ Harvey?
Not really. Kind of got bored. I took him in a redraft last year and kind of got burned by him. It had a redraft team last year that like went to shit, hated our draft position, and we ended up, and the first round pick was Neighbors, and like we just started taking flyers. It was the craziest redraft team I've ever had. We just took a bunch of flyers. We had Bill JSM late, like just it's just a bunch of weird draft picks, and that team.
Well, you know what's weird about the RJ Harvey is he's actually going a lot later this year than he was last year.
Yeah.
And last year he did pay off his draft capital, but it was all towards the end of the year, right? He cooked you early on if you drafted him to be a starter.
Yeah. By then I was like 1-6 with that team.
The upside of RJ Harvey is it's the tale as old as time. Is everyone's worried about Jonah Coleman. The upside of RJ Harvey is Jonah Coleman was literally drafted as a depth piece, not because of RJ Harvey's ineffectiveness last year in his 3.3 yards per carry and all that stuff. It was because J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy, and that is why they drafted Jonah Coleman. Like, that's the upside of RJ Harvey. If it's going to be a 50-50 split, RJ Harvey is going to pay off at ADP because he's the more dynamic running back. He's the better pass catcher. I think they're still going to probably split goal line work, or 60, let's say 40% RJ Harvey. Where it goes wrong is if Jonah Coleman is even doing the Sean Tucker thing, and now you have 12%, 15% Jonah Coleman, and you have 55% J.K. Dobbins. So what does that leave you for RJ Harvey? 30%, 33%? That's not enough. That's not enough for a 10th round pick. So I am still not – I'm not like selling RJ Harvey. I feel like I prefer him in PPR because I know he's the pass catching running back there. But I loved him coming out too. I had him as like really like way higher than consensus, and he was drafted way higher than he should have been. He was a 4th round grade for most teams. Even not as crazy as like Kalen Black, what the Niners did, but definitely pretty crazy reach there for the Broncos. But typically Sean Payton, when he drafts a guy, like that's his guy, and he rides his guy. So that's the upside of RJ Harvey. It's like he took him early, 2nd round, right? RJ Harvey, that's pretty high. That they have big plans for RJ Harvey, and I really hope so. I'm not just saying that because I just drafted him. This is a $3 sit and go. I already got a lot more money than that invested in this, so I'm not very high on RJ Harvey. I think I have like 3%. So maybe I'm trying to get higher percentage of RJ Harvey. Can we say that?
Yeah, I mean, he's, especially in best ball, he's one of those that you want some stock in because of everything you just said. Like he could end up being that guy at some point. He should pop off.
Yeah, good call, man. Because even if Jonah Coleman does have a role, like RJ Harvey would be a decent best ball play. It would be a game script thing, right? When they're close game, they're losing. RJ Harvey has a big game, but it's hard to predict that for one, and for two, do you want to play that game in redraft? I certainly don't. In my flex, even like hell no, dude. I want tried and true guys. We have a couple really nice options here at running back. Finally fell back to me. It's going to be Mr. Blake Corum.
I almost snubbed him.
I just went back and I've done this twice. I'm going to do it a third time too. I went back and watched Kyron Williams from last year and Blake Corum again. This is the second time going through this. We're only in June, and me and Storey talked about it. And, like he's not a big Kyron. He's not like a Kyron truther, but he had him on a show as like he thought he's undervalued, and he didn't like Corum's value. And Corum is better. Like he is just a better runner, and he's a better goal line runner. He is faster. He is more powerful. Like Kyron's a pipsqueak. I just can't get over the fact that Blake Corum, like they're in a Super Bowl win now, right? Who cares about the contract? Sean McVay is going to play the better running back in early downs. The better running back in early downs is Blake Corum. Do you agree, Derek?
Aside from, maybe pass protection or whatever, I think Corum's the better player. Been big on Corum for a couple of years. My buddy Bronson, that is co-owner of our dynasty team, we've both been really high on him for a couple of years. So just waiting for him to just take over.
Oh shit, we're gonna take Harold Fannin.
Right as I put him in my queue.
It's the end of the tight end run. You might still get Kyle Pitts, but Connor wanted Harvey. I probably saved you though, Connor. As much as nice things we said about RJ Harvey, there's a lot of negatives about RJ Harvey. So we might have just saved you, brother.
I screwed up. I blame having being on the show and having to talk for my last two picks. I should have taken Tucker Kraft first, as I was going to try to get quarterback and Tucker Kraft on that turn. And I went ahead and took the quarterback. And,
Lamar Jackson was already on that team, man.
The team right behind me had Lamar.
Yes. See, this is why I had you on, buddy. This is why I had you on. Yes. You know what? I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
How would you describe it?
I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm happy.
I think I quoted that perfect. I don't even know. I don't know.
I don't even know how to feel right now.
What a great interview.
Oh, Kittle goes in front of Pitts.
That interview would only be better if Diana Rossini was doing the interview. That would only be better. Yeah, you got Kyle Pitts. See, it all worked out for you because, I actually prefer Pitts over Fannin, but I'm very, very light on Harold Fannin. It's nothing against Fannin. It's just a watered-down target tree now. The questions at quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made my money last year on Harold Fannin because he was my saving grace when I lost Tucker Kraft in 19 redrafts. I had Harold Fannin like 12 leagues, dude, before that. He was the only backup tight end I was rostering because of the rookie factor and the way I was seeing him lining up in the formation, playing fullback. And I assumed David Njoku would get traded. They just ended up shutting him down. And that's one thing we need to do as a community. This is one thing I preach a lot, Derek, as you know. It's like I can love a player one year and not like a player the next year. It's ADP, it's situation. Like I'm not going to get married to any of these players based on them making me money. And I'm also not going to fade players based on them losing me money because that's a losing strategy. Like just because they fucked my butt last year, you know what? They might fuck it again, but maybe this time they might use lube and it won't be as bad. And maybe, just maybe, they take me out to dinner first. That is the upside of players that screwed us last year. Terry McLaurin, for instance, who I wasn't super high, and I'm always pretty high on McLaurin. That was not Terry McLaurin's fault. That was the Commander's fault for not paying him and him sitting out. And that was Dan Quinn. Here we go, Dan Quinn for getting Jaden Daniels injured. There was a lot of things last year that pretty much culminated in Terry McLaurin being a big bust. And I don't think any of them were Terry McLaurin's fault. So I love Terry McLaurin, and Brandon Ayuk is not going there. I am up on the clock. There is, let's see here. Who do I want? Can't take him. Ooh, I really hate this pick.
This is that running back area that's ugly.
Let's take a floor wide receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. I have a lot of upside with Jameson Williams, Luther Burden, Rashee Rice, Drake London. Kind of need someone just to get me 9 points. And I think Wan'Dale Robinson is that guy. Guys, we have 12 likes in this video. 8 more likes, we do another draft. 5 subs in this on this video, on the stream, we do another draft. Anyone signs up for the Patreon during the stream, we do another draft. Or $10, just $10 total in Super Chats. We do another draft. We're doing draft grades after this. We have plenty of time. Let's hit the goal. Let's do another draft. I got to keep Derek on this program so we can keep on drafting shitty teams. Nice run there. After your Herbert Downs thing, you go Pitts and Gainwell. 2 really, really nice picks that I enjoy.
Yeah, I considered Wan'Dale right there, but anybody past Gainwell it's a steep drop off in my opinion. So I was like, got to get my 4th and be done at running back.
I mean, I love Jonathan Brooks, but like, you know, the price we were getting him at a month ago to 2 months ago was so nice, 130s.
Yeah,
he's way too high like now. The upside, like it's taking away the upside. Essentially, what they're saying is he needs to force a 60-40 committee, like almost from the start for him to pay off, and that's not good business. What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man? We have some dudes are falling. This guy's solid. Connor just hit it. Actually, we're 1 cent short because Connor dropped $9.99. Just fucking with you, Connor. Thanks, buddy. I like Connor. He's a newer. I think. How long have you been watching us, Connor? I think it's been. I know recently more so. How long have you been tuning into the program? This is a pretty easy pick for me. Chris Rodriguez, who I feel like has been faded since that foot procedure in May. I mean, I'm not worried about a little foot thing, unless it's a Joe Mixon foot thing. In that case, we've never heard from Joe Mixon again, and I'm pretty sure Joe Mixon's actually dead. Like, I think they have a clone out there, and he's just like living the life like Paul McCartney. We're never, ever, ever going to hear from Joe Mixon again. We're never going to see him again. You haven't heard a single thing about Joe Mixon, have you, since last preseason? Because I haven't.
Not at all. Not at all. Nothing. He's a ghost.
That was one of my most adamant points last year. It's probably before you tuned in, Derek. I don't know, when did you start watching last year? Was it like November?
Yeah. What is November? Halfway through the season. Somewhere.
So I started the streams in September for my end of August for my drafts, and people are always asking me about Joe Mixon, and I've been a huge Joe Mixon fan. You know, a defender, even personally about what he did. And again, Derek, I know you have daughters. I have 2 sisters and a mom. Like, hitting women is no good. But that situation, he's a young college kid. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying, if you look at the context, a racial slur and getting spit in the face. Like, I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm just saying, like, as a woman and as a human, don't put yourself in that position. Joe Mixon made a major mistake, a very, very bad mistake, a black eye, if you will, no pun intended, on him as a person. But he's actually kept his nose pretty clean in the NFL. And I was on Joe Mixon coming out of Oklahoma. I've always loved Joe Mixon. And I was like, when the news came out, it was very, very ominous and very weird, even going back to like June last year. I was like, Joe Mixon's not playing football this year. Do not draft Joe Mixon. And people were like, you're an idiot. He's there. And even Chris Harris. I don't know if you know Chris Harris is. He used to be an ESPN guy. He's got the Harris Football Podcast. And yeah, he has definitely mailed it in almost as much as Matthew Berry. But he had him even in end of August as one of his flag players. I'm like, dude, you're telling people to draft this guy? We haven't had a roto-word blurb about this guy since June. And I could not have been more right about that. Like, even I wasn't saying he'd never play football again, or the proper statement was he will never be heard from again. Like, no one would have said that, but he has not been. He's a ghost. He's gone. He's literally Patrick Swayze, and he's just there. He's hovering in an apartment and watching Demi Moore do her thing, but he is definitely not playing football again.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything at all. And Connor got me right there. Connor is the new sniper.
The new sniper? Here we go. We got a new sniper in the room.
He took Rashid Shaheed. I had him ready to go to take at that pick, and he grabbed him.
Oh, Connor's been watching since last season. Okay, there's a lot of names to keep track of. I'm glad you came back, and I feel like you've been tuning in more, so appreciate you, dude. Thank you for the 2 supers. Brian says, thoughts on drafting Downs as wide receiver 4 in a 14-teamer. Not sure if I need to reach earlier for someone better. The deeper the league, the more I like Josh Downs, where I feel like Josh Downs is the guy that we've never seen even get to a 60% snap share. But this year it'll be more. Josh Downs is never going to be a 90% snap guy. He just is not that archetype of receiver. So therefore, Josh Downs' upside, like Josh Downs will never be a top 18 wide receiver. It's just not in his makeup. But the deeper the league, a 14-team league, Josh Downs is the ultimate floor play because the guy's super efficient. The guy has a prominent role. You have the Alec Pierce questions. You know, Tyler Warren, as proven as he is, he definitely let down a little bit at the end of the season. It wasn't his fault, but like Tyler Warren is not Travis Kelce, guys. So with the injury also to Daniel Jones, like what's he most likely to do? Check the fucking ball down to Josh Downs in the slot. So you agree with that, Derek, that like the deeper the league that you're in, Josh Downs becomes more attractive, and actually I would reach on him more because of the floor that he offers?
Absolutely. I'm a big Josh Downs guy. Like I like him in general, and I'm way higher on that Colts offense than you are this year, because I like Alec Pierce too. I think they're going to use him in a lot of different ways, but yeah, Josh Downs, and you know, just look at what he did with Pittman in the mix, and now that Pittman's gone, like I love Josh Downs this year.
Let me clarify. I'm not low on the Colts offense. I'm low on the Colts because their defense is piss poor, and I think Sauce Gardner's bad, like actually bad at football. Like not even for like with the draft capital they gave up to get him. Like I think Sauce Gardner
that's a terrible trade, but
he's outside the top 5 in corners, easy for me. Like I think he's he's not a good zone player. He doesn't tackle. Like he doesn't do any of the things we want. We're gonna take Jalen Nail. I want another floor receiver here. So that ties into me being kind of high on the Colts offense because they're going to have to score points, and you might be saying, well, Rob, Jonathan Taylor won't be as effective because the game script. Well, Jonathan Taylor showed us last year that he is a more than serviceable pass catcher, and he never got the opportunity, you know, in Nebraska, in Wisconsin, he was not asked, you know, no Big Ten running back, especially Wisconsin and Nebraska, did not throw the ball to their backs. And early career in Indy, they were not throwing the ball to him. But like he's not Derrick Henry. He is much more of a Zeke Elliott. Would you agree with that in terms of pass catching, which is all you want, right? Check downs, 40 catches, and he can do something with the ball in his hands. So this is going to help all of the players on that Colts offense when they have a bad defense because they're going to be in high scoring games. And like, I think their O-line's still pretty good. Like their defense is just bad. Like they didn't have any draft capital this year because of Sauce Gardner trade. Sauce Gardner himself's coming off a major injury, and like I said, is pretty poo. This is a potential, not a fantasy circus team like the Bengals or the Cowboys, but they are the next tier below in my mind. That potential that they could be, you know, in a lot of 28 to 27 games.
Yeah, I mean, I look at them as a possible Dallas Cowboy light from last season. Could be that type of team that they're just in these shootouts and, you know, throw the ball downfield and try to stay in it because their defense is going to force them to.
How you feeling about your squad so far, man?
Not too bad. Let me look. I almost took a second tight end just now without looking at his bye week, and when I looked, he had the same bye week as Pitts, so I had to grab Chig instead. I'm glad I
Welcome
looked.
to the streams, bro. Welcome to the streams, man.
I learned from last night.
Hopefully now, I know you already did have a lot of respect for the difficult. Hold on, real quick. I gotta make this pick and check this out. Let's see.
Case in point.
1, 2, 1. Man, I really want this guy. I think I can go with. Okay, we're gonna take the last running back I love. We're gonna take Dylan Sampson because you know I don't like leaving drafts without my boy, and also I just want to fucking talk to Sampson.
I want to talk to Sampson. Climbing to the moon like that bitch Alice Cram.
I was saying is I think you might have more respect for what it takes to host a show, do the drafts, all the stuff I'm juggling, and still drafting pretty solid teams because it's almost like a muscle memory at this point. Like, Dylan Sampson on the board. I'm gonna take Dylan Sampson. Oh, here's a comment about X, Y, and Z. Oh, Dylan Sampson drafted. I gotta play the clip. Like muscle memory, baby, and also being under the influence most of the time, which actually might help me. I think it might help me. Sober, I don't know what I'd do with myself.
Hey, that if you throw in the alcohol, that's crazy. To be able to do it all, answering the questions in the comments, playing the clips.
There goes TJ Hawkinson. You know what? That was my worry. I thought I could get Hawkinson coming back, but the tier at tight end after that is fine. The running backs after that is really bad. It's Jonah Coleman, it's Sean Tucker, it's all the guys that are just, essentially they're injury away. And we don't like those dudes in a sit and go. So we're gonna have to take a shitty tight end here, I think. A couple guys there. Kittle should be taking over Kraft, right? If he's healthy week 1. No, not even close. Tucker Kraft was prime George Kittle last year when he was healthy, and they only lost 2 receivers. No more Doubs, no more Wicks, and I think that there's a possible step up for Jordan Love, and also a step back for that defense, right? I mean, they've been really good, but Parsons is not starting the year, guys, and I am pretty big on taking a lot of players on the Packers offense. All right, here's my guy. I'm going to take Gunnar Helm, someone boring. Also, Josh Jacobs. We talked about it last night. There's nothing on Josh Jacobs. And again, no news is good news in my mind in this. You agree with that, Derek? That since we haven't heard anything, we thought we had heard something. Either he's clear or he's not. And not hearing anything is good news, because if they had something on Josh Jacobs at this point, they would have pursued that from a legal angle.
Yeah, because they never even filed charges, right? So you would think at this point, if there was anything really to it, that would have been done.
So in Wisconsin, I guess they legally, it's state by state. They had to make the arrest when something is filed, which sucks for Josh Jacobs, but it is what it is. It's just kind of a black eye in his reputation at this point. But they said that they were gathering more information before they chose to file charges. And usually that's a pretty expedited process when you're talking about something as serious as the accusations, thrown at Josh Jacobs. So at this point, I would say 90% chance that Josh Jacobs is clear. And that is worthwhile in best ball for a 4th round pick, because before the accusations, Josh Jacobs was at that 2-3 turn. And now he is a 4th round pick. It's not a Quinshon Judkins situation, because we didn't know that Judkins was good. He was in the Browns. This is Josh Jacobs. Yes, Josh Jacobs was bad last year from a metric standpoint, but he got all the volume in the world. And the guys behind Josh Jacobs, it's you and me, Derek. Essentially, the depth chart, if you look it up, is Derek Richardson and Rob Simmons. Then you're 51. I have a bum knee, and I'm fat as shit. I'm 38. I'm sorry, man. We're not going to cut into Josh Jacobs' workload, just like Marshawn Lloyd and Chris Brooks are not cutting into shit.
Not at all. Let's see here. Can't go that deep yet.
Brian, I would. So Brian says he hasn't been taking any Tracy because he didn't do squat after Scott got injured last year. It's all about the other stuff, because Tyron Tracy was also dealing with an injury of his own last year, and it was an injury he suffered in college that he re-injured. It was a shoulder labrum, something of that ilk. So Tyron Tracy was also injured, and the Giants had nothing to play for. They still like Tyron Tracy. And I think one thing we forget is everyone and I love Scatterbo. I think we all love Scatterbo. How could you not love him? Cam Scatterbo was a 4th round pick. Tyron Tracy was a 5th round pick. So it's not like, Tracy was a 6th rounder and he's in year 4, and Cam Scatterbo is going into year 2 and he was a 2nd rounder. One's a 3rd year player, one's a 2nd year player, one's a 5th round pick, one's a 4th round pick. Yes, Cam Scatterbo is a starter until proven otherwise. But we can't assume that it's going to be 80% Scatterbo, because Cam Scatterbo can't stay healthy. He won't stay healthy with the way he plays. And Tyron Tracy's proven to be a really good running back. If you take away the fumbles, which he actually cleaned up last year, Tyron Tracy's a good running back. Do you like Tyron Tracy, Derek?
I do. That's what I was going to ask you. What do you think the percentage will be I think it's going to be closer to 60-40 probably, because they have to keep Scatterbo healthy. The guy will go run through brick walls if you let him, and they're going to have to keep him healthy and on the field.
Well, we do have a potential there's two potential turd in the punch bowl situations. One is the fact that Harbaugh is the coach there, which could actually help Tyrone Tracy because Harbaugh would like to keep Derrick Henry off the field in close games. You know, when it's Derrick Henry to play literal bums like Ali and who is the receiving back there? I can't think of his name. Justice Hill. Like, so that's one good thing for Tyrone Tracy, but the bad thing could be Devin Singletary. Like, if they mix him in and we have a potential three-way committee, that's going to hurt both of them. But let's just go with the assumption that Singletary is going to get 9% of the snaps, which is fair for a third running back. And let's not even factor the 9% in. Let's say he's just there to give these guys a breather if there's an injury. I would say like not between 60-40 and 65-35. I think 65-35 is fair. Now, Cam Scatterbo is going to get a lot of the passing down work in terms of, third and sevens. He's going to get all the goal line work, but Tracy's going to get series, and Tracy is a converted wide receiver out of Purdue. So where you're getting him in best ball is nice because he's going to have some nice spike weeks based on game flow. And you also have he's going to be the guy. I think he's the guy. I think last year the Singletary thing was all based on Tyrone Tracy not being healthy himself. And that's something we need to read. That's looking beyond the box score, right? That's what we always say on the show. We do, because not only do I watch all the games, I have a bunch of other co-hosts that keep me in check. So I don't just say fucking crazy shit. And if I do say crazy shit, my co-hosts and you guys in the chat tell me, Rob, you're an idiot. And then I have to defend myself. And that's how we get somewhere in discussing these players. Tyrone Tracy was hurt last year. And that is why Tyrone Tracy did not play much after the scat injury, because he was playing, it took a Tyrone Tracy injury last year in that game against the Chiefs for Scatterbo to really actually be the starter.
That's what I was going to say. It was the Tracy injury that opened the door for Scatterbo in the first place.
Because Derek knows ball, guys. Derek knows the deep stuff. It must be because he watches this show a lot. I think that's what it is. It's not from Adam Schefter or Roto World, it's just from the FanX Network and the Discord. There's a lot of really smart people in there, and we have some goofy conversations, but there's also a lot of really, really good conversations being had in there. And I think the biggest thing about this show, what we do is, we really discuss these things, and not everything is just black and white, right? It's not all cut and dry. And that is the biggest problem that we get in the fantasy community is, I'm gonna make this pick here. I'm taking this guy. It's just so many absolutes, dude. And I saw, a guy I always rip on as a fantasy football counselor who is just such a joke. Like, and he releases all these videos. It's just him. He never has guests. And he does like top 10 sleepers, which is a funny term to use, sleepers. Like, the only time I use sleeper is like a deep sleeper show, because there's no such thing as a sleeper anymore. For me, a sleeper is someone that's, oh, what the hell? I got auto draft to Sean Tucker. This app is just pissing me off. Okay.
Yeah, I heard you say I'm going to take this guy, and then I watched you time out.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. I'm not going to tell you who it was. He's not going to come back to me, but probably ruined my draft. But he makes these videos it's 10 sleepers, right? And it's like 12 minutes long. It's 12 minutes long. So he's essentially chatting about each of these guys for a minute, and no conversations about depth. It's just like, well, he's a third round pick. So he's trash. This guy was a first round pick, so he's good. Like, that's all it is. It's like, dude, people can look this information up for themselves. If you want to just draft guys based on draft, like real life NFL draft capital or perceived depth charts or whatever else, wild stuff. And the guy has 100,000 subs. I don't know what caliber. That's why I win money every year in fantasy, because fuck you took Torrey Horton. That was my guy.
I knew it.
Kyle comes back. Yeah, I know, man.
As soon as you said you won't get him, I said, no, you won't. Torrey was one of my guys last year, too, until the Shaheed trade. Like, I was huge on Torrey Horton, and I was talking about him with everybody, and then the Shaheed thing happened, and I caught a lot of shit.
Well, that one.
I agree with Brian in the chat. There's a lot of clickbait too. You're talking about sleepers. So many guys put out these videos of these sleepers and deep sleepers, and like they don't even believe some of that stuff themselves. They're just trying to get, trying to get clicks and get eyes on their videos.
Yeah, stir up the comment section too for people calling you an idiot, and that's actually helping him. And like I'm guilty of doing it sometimes. It's like I refuse to do it, and it's at my own like peril because I'm gonna put out legit information and legit content, and give you guys the, I'm gonna give you the information that I'm gonna give the bets that I bet. I actually bet all of them, as you guys know. I'm gonna give you the players I'm taking because I'm drafting these guys. I stream all my redrafts. Like there's no bullshit here, and that's the hardest thing when talking about these channels and these personalities. It's like what to believe, and there's so much information out there, whether that's from content creators, from the media, from beat reporters. It's so hard to kind of dive through the pile of shit that is the NFL, and that's kind of how they want it.
Yep, that's why like if you have guys, you're gonna have to take them, and you're gonna have to reach sometimes because everybody's seen every video and all that good stuff. I remember the days where I used to go buy the magazines at the store and build my own list from those. Now
the magazines, bro.
There's just so much information out there.
Usually with someone your age, the magazines you're talking about is Playboy and Penthouse, right? Hustler. Like those are, you remember those days too, man.
Hey,
the sticky pages.
I had a father that had his little drawer under his bed that he thought they were hidden.
Never hidden, man.
Hey, I was I was in the 10 to 12-year-old range when I found that Madonna with the Harry Pitts Playboy, man.
She had Harry Pitts?
Kinda, yeah. And in her Playboy spread, Harry Pitts.
That's a counselor strategy. Like, I'm going to get some fucking hits on this because Madonna has Harry Pitts. Weird. I mean, a Harry Snatch for sure, because that was the noise back then. But Harry Pitts is like at a commune, right? Like that's like a hippie thing. Weird.
Pretty wild. I have a quick question for you before we get to grades. Just based on Brian's comment there, Ray Davis deserves to be a starter somewhere. Who's your favorite like backup running back that you think would just be a superstar if they were given the right opportunity?
Well, Ray Davis is one of them because I love Ray Davis, and Ray Davis also because his pass catching is super underrated, and his story, he deserves a shot, and he was an older rookie coming in. But Tyler Allgeier's been my guy forever, and I thought we were finally getting it. I figured he was going to go to the Titans. I thought the best spot for him was Tyler Allgeier goes to the Titans. They don't have to draft Jeremiah Love, and they release Tony Pollard, and they just give 60% of the work to Tyler Allgeier. And then when he signed with Arizona, I'm like, okay, cool. So now we're going to get Tyler Allgeier, like I said about the Titans, and they end up taking Jeremiah Love. And it's just never going to happen for Tyler Allgeier because his rookie year, 1,000-yard rusher, then he gets Bijan and plays really well. And I don't think he's the best pass catcher, obviously, but he's a bowling ball. This dude is a coach's pet type player. He's a David Montgomery type with actually, I think, maybe more juice, not in the passing game, but as a runner. So I think it's Tyler Allgeier has always been my guy. A guy I used to always love that actually made me a lot of money was Alexander Mattison for that stretch when Dalvin Cook got hurt.
Minnesota.
And we saw him dominate because mostly just on volume where he had, there was probably in the 2-year stretch where there were 7 Alexander Mattison starts there in Minnesota. And he averaged damn near 25 touches a game, and he was catching passes, scoring touchdowns. And then he goes to the Raiders, and he's just a bum. So, like, I might have been wrong on Mattison, but I think all these backup running backs, they're not going to be great if they go to a new team because they're backup running backs for a reason. But I'm always of the belief that they're going to trust the backup because, in general, the scheme, the play calling, the playbook, they're much more, in tune with that than the third stringer. And also, like, coaches are not going to trust a third string running back because typically they're rookies. And I always say that, like, they're going to get, 80% of not just the volume, but the production of the starter because they might even get sometimes like the Alexander Mattison case, they actually get more volume than the starter because they when you have Madison as a backup, Dalvin Cook's going to get 75% of the work because they're like, okay, we can spell him with Alexander Mattison. Now, when Dalvin Cook gets hurt, now you have CJ Ham behind him. Like they're not going to give CJ Ham carries. So the problem is identifying which one of these guys there are, and it's really hard to identify. We thought we had that with Braylon Allen 2 years ago as a rookie. And then next thing you know, Isaiah Davis is out carrying him. So like, it's so hard. So we're going to do this show soon, the handcuff list, and kind of tier it based on not just what their production would be if they get the workload, but their likelihood to have the workload, right? To actually get the lion's share of the work, which is the hardest thing. Because the last thing you want to do is keep a handcuff on your bench, specifically the Braylon Allen thing from 2 years ago, and actually have the starter get injured. And now you're starting this guy like blindly because, of course, you're going to start him because he's an RB2 and he gets 12 touches. So that is the hardest thing in fantasy to diagnose. But it's such a nice thing to have on your team, because when you hit on that backup running back, and if you don't have the starter, you just get someone else's handcuff, you win fantasy leagues like that. You know, that is how your team is unreal, because you might have a stacked receiver room, but you're a little light at running back. Oh, now you have, James Conner from 5 years ago when Le'Veon Bell held out. Like that's why I do this strategy, because that year I didn't even think that Le'Veon Bell wasn't going to play, but I was doing
That's
FFPC.
5 years ago. I feel like that was longer.
Maybe 6 years ago. I don't think it was that long, because James Conner is still only like 30, So 5 or 6 years ago, let's call it 6 years ago, I had 19 leagues that year, and I had 16 shares of James Conner because it was 20-round drafts, and he was going in like the 20th round. I'm like, I'm taking a shot. I think there's a chance Le'Veon might hold out. Either way, like, I think James Conner is a serviceable backup and the handcuff. And dude, he ended up getting hurt like right before the fantasy playoffs. But I think I had like 15 buys that year.
I took him late in some leagues that year too.
He was running back too. He was running back too the first 10 weeks of the year.
I love Algier, and he's a really good name to bring up there. The guy, I feel bad for him. He always ends up in those situations. But another one, and maybe my favorite right now, is Tank Bigsby. I love Tank Bigsby, and I feel like, man, if he's just gets in the right situation, like he could be a top 5 back.
Do you know how old Tank Bigsby is?
It's like 23, right? He's young.
Yeah, he's 23, dude. One negative about Tank Bigsby is he is the most allergic. He's so allergic to pass catching. Like, he has like 11 career receptions. But the scheme, like, he was better than Saquon last year. And it was, it's kind of parallel to the Tony Pollard Zeke thing, when that was kind of a shift there. Of course, you're going to have a better yards per carry when you're the ancillary back and you're getting in these sub packages and all that kind of shit. But Tank Bigsby is the handcuff there. Will Shipley's bad. And I think that is the perfect name, actually. Nice call there, dude, because I don't take him a lot. I take him in tournaments because the upside, if you could win the tournament possibly, if you have him in the seventh, as your seventh running back, sixth running back. But in redraft, I'm gonna have Saquon and Bigsby. But like, I'm gonna have Bigsby on probably more teams. I'm gonna probably have Bigsby in every single draft, because there's no opportunity cost at all. It's a last round pick. A couple more questions. Who's your favorite receiver in the league minus Chase? That is probably the answer. I think Chase is the best receiver. I think Justin Jefferson is a close second. I think a lot of people would say St. Brown just because of, what he's overcome in terms of draft capital and size and everything. And just, he's such a monster. What is your answer?
I love Jamar Chase. He's far and away the top guy. Puka's a beast. As long as he can stay on the field between injuries and his other being a mess. He's just a mess, but Puka's a beast.
It's so hard to evaluate Puka though, because of the Cooper Kupp role, right? It's like same thing with Michael Thomas. Like Michael Thomas. Now I think Puka's a better player than Michael Thomas was, but those numbers are so inflated, and we saw Cooper Kupp do the same thing. And Cooper Kupp was a pretty good receiver. I mean, pretty elite actually, but not Justin Jefferson level. And what would Puka look like on the Raiders? I know that Jamar Chase would be the best receiver in the league no matter where he's at. I know Justin Jefferson will always eat. I don't know if you don't have the word is kind of I don't want to call it cookie cutter role, but it's a very distinct role for Puka, and it's a very elite role with Matt Stafford, who is the kingmaker of kingmakers, Kenny Galladay, Calvin Johnson. Like, he's going to make you a wide receiver one, and Sean McVay. Like, it's a perfect storm for Puka. But Puka is really fun to watch because that dude is an animal. Literally, he does eat people and bite people. And Dan Campbell would love to have Puka because, like, Dan Campbell says he's going to bite your kneecaps off. Like, Puka actually has bitten people's kneecaps off.
Excuse me, sir. This is private property. What are you doing?
Just taking it all in.
You're staring at my daughter's bedroom.
She's really grown into her body. This is going to be a fun summer for her.
All right, you ready for draft grades, dude?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We have a draft coming up after this, guys, so hop in after the draft grades. We have Montana squad here at the 5-hole. Drake May, Aaron Rodgers, Geno Smith with Travis Etienne, Travion Henderson, Jalen Warren, Kyle Monangai, Jordan Mason as your 5. That's a hell of a running back room. I love the Jordan Mason at 5 with Travion Henderson. I feel like that's a nice little marriage there of a guy that's going to get you some, some weekly touchdown upside with Travion Henderson who might have some bum weeks. JSN, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman as your 4, Casey Concepcion, Jalen McMillan, and Zachariah Branch with Dallas Goedert, Hunter Henry, and Darnell Washington. Montana loves Darnell Washington. I notice that he drafts him all the time. Montana, tell us why you love Darnell Washington so much. This room actually makes sense for Darnell Washington because Goddard and Henry might be a little light, but I think there's just better players to take. You got to just give me your lowdown there on Darnell Washington. Other than that, though, I love this team. The wide receivers are a little light there at Pittman, Concepcion, McMillan. But this running back room is bliss in my mind with the capital you put in. And I do like the wide receiver or the quarterback room with Drake May, Rodgers, and Geno Smith. What do you have for a grade for this team, Derek?
A really good team. I think I like the running back room a little less than you, but it's solid. Like, especially it's a great best ball running back room, and
that's what we're playing. That's what we're playing. We're playing best ball.
You talked about Pittman, Concepcion, McMillan stretch, but I like those guys at that spot at 4, 5, 6 with JSN, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin. Like, it's a really good team. It's a solid B to B plus.
Wow. I'm gonna give it a B minus. I'll give it a B. Okay, because I love the running back room that much. I just don't love the wide receiver room, and I don't get Darnell Washington. I don't understand that pick. We'll go solid B. I guess is it because Jonnu Smith's gone, but it's still Pat Freiermuth's still a starter, and they have Michael Pittman there now. It's like there's a lot of mouths to feed with Aaron Rodgers at 42 years old. That's just like, do I want a guy that doesn't score a touchdown is not going to be in your lineup?
Yeah, and I might actually say B minus now, looking at because the quarterback room, it's not terrible. I like Drake May. I don't love Rodgers as a 2. It's probably best he took Geno.
Oh yeah, I love the Geno pick. So okay, you go B minus. We actually flip flopped. I go B, you go B minus. I said B minus. You said B. Give us your grades in the chat, guys, for this team, and we're gonna move on to my squad. I think the Sean Tucker pick might drop me a half letter grade. We'll see. I kind of did need a running back. I think 5 would have been a little light, but I don't like Sean Tucker. So Joe Burrow and Sam Darnold at quarterback. We have JT, RJ Harvey, Blake Corum, Chris Rodriguez, Dylan Sampson, and Sean Tucker with Drake London, Rashee Rice, Luther Burden, Jamison Williams, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Naylor, and Keon Coleman, and Harold Fannin, Gunnar Helm, and Kate Otten. Actually, this team is okay. It's very average, though. Like I would probably give it in the B minus range. I don't know. It's I think the build is fucking nice. I'll say that.
Had you gotten Torrey Horton instead of Sean Tucker right there, man, this team would put it over the top. It's a really good team, though.
I don't want to hear that because I'm pissed about that.
There's
no argument to be made about Sean Tucker over Torrey Horton with this running back room. Like, because I don't like Harvey as a 2, but I think Corum, Rodriguez, and Sampson is super nice.
Yeah, I think you're done there, to be honest. Tucker's.
Yeah, I should have been done. I was trying to talk myself into it, but
Tucker's never gonna crack your lineup with those backs.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not.
And I mean, you got one of the top 10 receivers of all time at your 3. So
nice.
I love the tight end room too. I love the tight end room. This
shit.
This is solid.
Isn't your fullback Hayward the tush push guy though? You still have Hayward, right? Connor Hayward. He says Steelers fan, probably a little biased for Washington. Think he's going to get that tush push action, but isn't it Hayward if they're going to go that direction because he got it last year? So if Connor Hayward is still on that team, Connor Hayward is the tush push guy. So we fact check that for me, Montana. I don't know. I mean, I should know maybe, but I don't know if Connor Hayward's still on the team. I'm guessing he is because he's a Hayward. And even though they hate paying his brother the big money for some reason, I think they're going to have the backup or the fullback on that roster. So what is your grade, Derek? Did you give me one? Sorry, I spaced out.
I was going to say solid B to B plus, and had the Tucker thing not happen, might have been B plus to A minus. Really,
Fuck
I like
you.
the team.
I don't want to hear that. You're really sticking it in me for that stupid auto draft. I know. Trust me. When it happened, you saw my reaction when it happened. Like, I had a specific plan for this team. And you know what? Maybe Keon Coleman catches 7 touchdowns, and maybe I would have taken him anyway. But we have to go to – where are we at now? We're at Connor's team here. Connor, Dak Prescott, and Matt Stafford at quarterback. Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Rashad White, Zach Charbonnet, Tank Bigsby, your boy, and Nick Singleton. Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers, Rashid Shaheed, Tank Dell, Elijah Surratt, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Warren, and Rondé Gadsden. So, good tight end room. I think that the wide receiver room is fine. I like Myers as a 4. Shaheed is a 5. Tank Dell is nice there. Surratt, Bateman. So you have, kind of a hedge there. I don't mind hedging and sit and goes, especially with Surratt and Bateman. Running back room is pretty deep. Maybe you can make an argument you don't need Singleton, but I think with Charbonnet's injury, with Tank Bigsby being a handcuff, that makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, Singleton seems like a late season guy, and Tank Bigsby is a handcuff, and Zach Charbonnet might not start the year. All that being said, for Connor, this is a B to B plus. I think the quarterback room's great. I love the top 2 running backs. Rashad White's a nice 3. I think you're going to pair together the back end of the running back room. Definitely late season for sure. I love the running back room. And the wide receiver room is pretty good. There is some questions, though, with Malik Neighbors and Charbonnet on the same team in a sit and go. So maybe I'm going to go B, thinking about it, just because Malik Neighbors and Zach Charbonnet on the same team in a sit and go, you might have a rough start and might be hard to climb out of that hole. What do you got, Derek?
I was going to say B minus only because my only critique is the Singleton pick. I don't think he needed Singleton. I'm big on Tank Bigsby. I love Charbonnet there, especially, later in the year. And having Malik Neighbors and Tank Dell as well, I think had he not taken Singleton and you take another receiver in that range, because he went from 129 with Shaheed to 184 with Tank Dell between, taking a receiver between those two, I think really would have boosted it. Potential B plus to A minus, but I have it as a B minus to maybe a solid B.
All right, let's get to your team, Derek, the American Sniper, Chris Kyle. Did Kappa brainwash you into Cam Ward? Because I see Cam Ward in your team. You haven't been drafting a lot of him, and I think I'm about Cam Ward too because Kappa doesn't know his shit, and he goes out on limbs, and they don't always hit, but when they do hit, it's like Dos Equis. He's the most interesting man in the world. That is when his shit hits, and Cam Ward might be one of those guys. Justin Herbert and Cam Ward at quarterback. Ashton Genty, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, and Kenny Gainwell. This is a fine 4 running back room right here. I dig this. You have 2 guys on a week 11 bye. Not too worried about that. CeeDee Lamb, Christian Watson, Roman Dunze, Josh Downs, Jalen Coker, Flournoy, Adonai Mitchell, Antonio Williams, and Torrey Horton. Kyle Pitts, Chika Okonkwo, and Terrence Ferguson. You're back. Derek is back. This is a great build. 9 receivers. You can argue you needed 8, but I feel like I think you might be 1 heavy on receiver. I think Antonio Williams should have been a running back, and I'm not saying you need a running back, but your receiver room is fine to have 9, and I think you're light at quarterback. So I think I would have preferred that you took another quarterback, Derek. This team needs a Geno Smith. This team needs a Jacoby Brissett in a sit and go. I think Herbert and Cam Ward's a little light, man. That is my first, if I was going to give you some shit on this team, it's a 3rd quarterback was necessary.
Yeah, I will say, and I didn't necessarily hate it because I love Terrence Ferguson, but I was I fell victim to the auto pick on that, and I was looking at taking a 3rd quarterback with that last pick, but Ferguson in a Pitts and a Okonkwo tight end room. I didn't hate the Ferguson pick, but I definitely agree probably
It was
need
Antonio
a third
Williams. That was the
quarterback.
pick. Because Torrey Horton, there was probably no one there at quarterback worth a damn. But Antonio Williams, you could have easily gotten, like Aaron Rodgers or something, which we don't love Aaron Rodgers, but something like that would have made this quarterback room much more of a C to B room. We're in right now, it's borderline like D, just based on the fact you have two, and Herbert isn't one of the elite guys. He's not Jalen Hurts or Caleb Williams, we don't think. And then Cam Ward is still a little bit of a question mark. That's why I asked you if you're drinking that cap.
I was actually on Cam Ward early in a lot of these, and then I've backed off of him a lot because I think there's some other guys in that range that I like as well. But I will say that Kappa probably talked him back into my stratosphere anyway.
I'm going B. I'm going B on the squad. I feel like it could have been a little better. I think me and you had similar issues with with one auto draft each, and you had a little more structural issue than me. I had a couple wonky picks, but I'm going to go B. That could have been A-. You think that's pretty fair?
Yeah.
All right. Let's hit up another draft, guys. Let me know who's in. We have
Mouth is back in here.
Oh, there's a 5-person draft. Let's get in a 5-person draft right here. Look at this. It's already 4 or 5 people filled here. We have 8 more people in the $5 draft. So when I say 5-person, $5 draft, there is 8 out of 12. So let's hop in this one right here.
The sit and go, $5 sit and go.
Yep, it should say 4 people in there. Mouth still does $5 super. Throw in some money at free throw. Look at that mug. Mouth giving you a shout out. Great to have Derek on the program. What a great guy. What a great supporter. We appreciate Derek. We appreciate all you guys. And I like to try to give back as much as I can, whether that's you guys coming on the show, the merchandise, whatever I can do. And I know there's a chance one of these days someone's going to sign up for the Fanatic tier for a month and then cancel, and I'm going to lose money on the deal. There's a chance it could happen, right? Because if you become a Fanatic, guess what? You're getting a fucking hat and a shirt just based on the respect level, and that's just part of the deal. And besides paying for it, shipping it, I would lose $25. I think one time it will happen. Someone will get a $22 a month membership, and that'd be a good strategy. I could have a bunch of people just getting free merchandise. Now, it's not really valuable if you don't watch the show to have random merchandise, but it'll all be worth it because y'all deserve to rep the shit. And much, much, much love to everyone, especially Derek, and also you, Mouth.
So is your show 4 more to start?
4 more to start. Also, let's give it is the bottom one. It's the $5, Connor, the $5 12-teamer. $5 sit and go. 4 more to start. You got a little bit of time. I do want to shout out to Downtown Sports Mouse Podcast. It is now on YouTube. It's been on there for a little while, guys. We got to get that sub number up. So tune in over there. Don't even sub. Don't even like it. Just watch it, and then you will like it. You will sub it because they talk all different sports. They're not just talking football. They're not just talking fantasy. They're talking World Cup. They're talking NBA. They're talking MLB. They're talking football as well. So you see a lot of awesome guests on the show. Noah Eagle, Ian Eagle, myself. They have a World Cup guy. They just get the best in the business. So let's give Mouse some love and just go over there, give it a look, and you will sub. And you're also supporting me because supporting Mouth is supporting me, and vice versa. So I would appreciate it if you guys did that. We are 2 more people to start.
Mouth, I just gave you another subscriber. I've already been a subscriber, but I'm on the second account on this laptop. So
hell yeah, you give me 2. I want 10 from you, Derek. You motherfucker.
That's a good point. I don't know if I am.
I got him. We're inching our way to 3K. We're at 2009, which is a good year. I want to get 3,000 by draft season, by actual draft season, and I want to have 4,000 by the end of next year. Those are lofty goals, guys. I think they're achievable goals because of what the product we're putting out and the volume we are putting out. Before we start this draft, one more. We're already starting it. I have a talking point to have you there. If we do another draft, we'll get to the talking point. I think we're full here. Here we go. I'm at 5 here. I'm going to make right on this draft here from what happened last time. I didn't hate the team, but for me, when you're a perfectionist and you do this for a living, essentially, and this is my winter income for many, many years. I hate missing on one pick, especially if it's an auto draft or I hate mistakes. I hate that. And whether we don't know what's a mistake and what's not, like I keep on saying, this is the weather. I do know picking the wrong position is a mistake. You did it. I did it. We can't do that shit. We're supposed to be better than that, but it happens to the best of us. All right. We have Montana at 2.
I swear, every time Mouth is in a draft with us, I'm next to him, directly next to him, every single time.
Mouth at 8, Derek at 9, and Connor at 12. So we have 5 of us in here. This is a $5 one. A little bigger stakes, boys. Connor's got his first draft from the turn. Derek, Mouth wants your live commentary on his picks. Mouth says if you get 3K, I want 1K. That would be a big jump because I need only 100 more subs to get to 3K. I feel like that should happen like in a month. I would like to think this time of year. I would sure fucking hope so. But you know what? I can't force anyone to do anything, and that's also part of being an American. So we don't have to do anything that people tell us. But I think people should want to because it is free to sub. That's the first step in supporting and joining the community. And it is a great community because you got people like Derek, people like Mouth, hopefully soon to be people like Connor. A lot of really good people up in here that I think believe in what we're doing. We're up in 2 picks. What did I had 6 the first time. Now I have 5. Okay. So at this point, I know every single pick, like in terms of what I want to do. We've done
still taking JT.
No, I think I'm going to go JSN and hope a running back falls back to me, which probably won't happen. But it might force me to take running backs earlier and maybe not take Sean Tucker in the 17th round. Fucking Sean Tucker. There goes Puka. All right, we'll take JSN this time. Well, another problem with JSN is he's in Buy-Mageddon, and like I don't want to get – there's so many players I love with Week 11 buys. Taking JSN like limits some of your options in terms of later in the draft. Like you can't have 7 players in the same buy. You can't even have 5 players with the same bye week if you want to be smart, especially in a sit and go. So we'll see how it shakes out. This is pretty standard so far with Gibbs, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Puka, and JSN. Is that the way you would have it, Derek, in a typical best ball or even redraft? I rank it.
What's the order again?
Gibbs, Robinson, Chase, Puka, JSN.
Yes.
We're going to get there, Mouth. We're going to get there, buddy. Don't worry. Mouth with JT at, wow, JT falls to 7. That's pretty spicy stuff. Justin Jefferson off the board at pick. Justin Jefferson off at 7. JT at 8.
I'll take St. Brown at 9.
You'll take, yeah. Well, everyone gets value there. Everyone gets value. You know what? I owe some beer chugs here. I owe 2 now because Montana cheers to the 2 spot. And are you going to take Darnell Washington this time, Montana? You know what? Darnell Washington is to Montana what Deshaun Watson is to Dakota because he's chilled out on that a bit. He's at like 50%. And this sums up Deshaun Watson right here.
Oh, that would be awesome. Thank you.
So
because,
good.
We're worried about that. That would be great. Plus, you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours.
Well, Jules, the funny thing about my back is that it's located on my cock.
Classic.
I'm back. Don't worry, I don't want to leave you hanging, Derek. One of the way back in the first month or 2 of streams after the drafts were streams when I started just doing the show, You guys have seen Ben. He hasn't been around. Ben Bartelt hasn't been around in a while, but Ben was coming on once a week or so, and he was still kind of raw. And my internet went out, and he just like, so the stream still goes. He's still live, and I'm just gone. And like, instead of, talking everyone out or like being like, all right, well, Rob's gone, and like, thanks for, watching, whatever. He just like logs off. You can see his face. He just like sits there, and he just like during the headlights, he just like click, and he's just gone, and there's just nothing. It's pretty fucking funny. I should clip that and like put it on a short. Like, when streaming goes wrong and the host is gone. See, I like being by myself sometimes because I get to just kind of, let my hair down. When it's already down, it comes down all the way to my ass by myself, and I just talk about. I got no one reining me in, right? Storey reins me in quite a bit. I got no one reining me in. I can just go off on tangents, and it really makes my father proud. Some of the things I talk about, he actually is really proud of me. But as you can imagine, the hot guy episode was not one of his favorites. My dad's a really old school dude. And he also knows me, though, and he knows the conversations I have at Thanksgiving dinners and all those things. So, like, it wasn't like he wasn't surprised. He was more just disappointed. He's like, why? Like, did you have to? I was like, I absolutely had to do that. It was awesome. And I stand by my decision. I'm wearing Erica's shirt and talking about Brad Pitt. I want to fuck him in the butt.
The only decision I'll question is the shirt.
Well, I'll send you the older. We did it first. So Kappa did it too. And I had a tighter shirt on. So that was the second time I did it. And I don't question it at all. And all the running backs are gone. So this is just fucking fabulous.
I took your boy. I don't have enough Derrick Henry stock, so I went ahead and took him over A-Chain and Chase Brown.
So now we're in it. You know what? I'm going to change it up here. I'm going to go Brock Bowers because I don't want to have two receivers with a week 11 bye to start off. So one problem with Brock Bowers and best ball, as much as I love him, I love so many late tight ends, and that doesn't give me the opportunity. I'm only going to take one late guy then. But I am a super big believer in Brock Bowers this year. So, and sit and go especially. Tournament, I don't like it as much because you can't really stack Brock Bowers. Like, I don't want to take Mendoza personally because it's such an unknown. All right, I have two chugs to do back to back. I am going to do drinking PBR here. Too. Yeah, hey, I'm doing PBR here. I don't want to chug two PBRs, so I'm going to do a PBR, and then I'm also going to do a Busch Light. Busch Light's my preferred chug. It's just easier chug, not as many calories, little lighter of a beer. So we'll do one of each back to back, just for you fine people. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Does foam go down? Let's see. Last night of June, guys. I am super excited. So in terms of this week, we have the Chaz coming on tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about the quarterback tier system and just kind of like the ECR and what they have, Fantasy Pros has for their tiers, and discussing who deserves to be in what tier. Do they have it right? Thursday, Mike Storey is coming on. We're going to be talking about boom or bust players, polarizing players, guys with really big range of outcomes. And then Friday, Big Ray's coming on. We'll probably draft on Friday with Big Ray. And we're going to take Saturday off because I'm going to be out of town. I know it's a rare day. I don't know what you guys are going to do without me, but it is 4th of July, so I'm sure you guys are going to have time with your families, lighting fireworks, hopefully responsibly. And then we'll be back. I probably won't miss another day for quite a while. This is gross. This is super gross. So I guess we'll just take Travis Etienne. Don't love this pick, but actually, no, the Sunday the 11th I'm not going to be on because I have a concert to go to in Chicago. But after that, guys, I'm pretty sure I'll be on every single night. I can't promise it, but I'm guessing. I think Derek will probably agree I will until Christmas. So from July 11th through Christmas, you're going to see my face every single night for like 2 hours minimum, I would say. Something like that. Here we go. First chug. Second chug. All right. We're back.
Don't do it, mouth.
Whew.
Mouth, do not do it. Good. Thank you, sir.
Flowers. Montana got Jeremiah Love in the 3rd round at his 2 spot. You got your Javonte Williams.
Appreciate that, Mouth. So speaking of who did you take?
Travis Etienne. I kind
Etienne.
of had
So-
Javonte Williams ranked higher, but
So what are your thoughts just generally big picture for the Saints offense?
I'm lower on it than actually most people because most people are just assuming that the Saints offense is going to be the next coming. And, I was a big Tyler Shuck fan before, coming out. Now, again, anointing Tyler Shuck, which great situation. It should work out. I don't know it's going to work out. So it's a trickle-down effect. If he is just average and doesn't take a step forward, maybe takes a step back, these guys aren't going to hit. I think Travis Etienne is safe in that regard because they're going to try to cover him up. But the receivers, no thank you. Like, I am not drafting a lot of Chris Olave this year. I am not drafting any Jordan Tyson this year. That being said, I think Tyler Shuck's a fine pick at his ADP because of the rushing upside. And I think the plays per game, obviously Kellen Moore is just always going to run a million plays. So we like that. There's a lot of things we like about this offense. But anointing this team as a top 10 offense, which is kind of how we're drafting them, not for me, man. You agree, or are you about that?
I totally agree. I like Shuck a lot, but, I mean, people are acting like, it's Drew Brees that's going to be under center. So there you go, Mouth. I don't know if you like that one. But yeah, if he's just average, and we talked about that earlier with some of these other quarterbacks, if he's just kind of average, then it's going to be iffy.
Very iffy. I am up right now, and we need a lot of things. Specifically, let's see.
Who'd you take, Mouth?
53.
Mouth, you like Ted over Garrett Wilson?
Let's go tried and true here. That's a tough one, man, because Ted McMillan, there's no questions about his role, about anything really, but the talents, I like the talent, but Garrett Wilson's an elite talent. I don't know that Ted McMillan's an elite talent. And X receiver is much more susceptible to bad quarterback play being an issue. It wasn't so much last year, but I just don't see them using Ted McMillan any different, which it wasn't bad usage, but like they're not using him creatively. He can beat, elite corners out at the outside, but Garrett Wilson's upside is what we saw with Jamar Chase when they moved him around the field. Yeah. Now you have Geno Smith, the quarterback, isn't ideal, but I think Ted McMillan's a floor play. I think Garrett Wilson's the upside play. Is that agreement with you?
100%. Like I love Ted as a player. I don't love his fantasy upside in that offense.
What's up, Jonathan, man? How you doing? You get a break from racing? This dude's Evil Knievel out there just racing his little heart out. So we have a couple options here at running back. And I think I'm going to take Bucky in a sit and go here. It was between Bucky and Judkins. I'm not taking Travion Henderson too much in these sit and goes. He's more of a tournament play for me. Miles says Wilson is both the upside. Well, if he's the upside of the floor, then Garrett Wilson should be drafted in the third round, like middle of the third round by Zay Flowers and Chris Olave, which I actually don't hate. But there's much more competition for Garrett Wilson than there is Ted McMillan. Like literally, if you look at the way these drafts are going and where these guys are going, like Jalen Coker is the second receiving option drafted in Carolina, and it is pick 130. And then there's no tight end being drafted. Tommy Tremble and Jadavion Sanders not drafted, and there's no third receiver drafted. You go over to the Jets, you have Omar Cooper, Adonai Mitchell both being drafted in, definitely drafted in best ball. You have Kenyon Sadiq being drafted lower than he should be, but wide tight end 18. You have Breece Hall being drafted very high. I forgot to mention that no Panthers running backs being drafted in the first 6 rounds. So it's like McMillan has to be the higher floor because we know he's the number one in that offense. And I'm not saying we don't think we know Garrett Wilson is as well, but number ones are treated differently. I think Garrett Wilson deserves 150 targets. I think we know that Ted McMillan's going to get 140 targets.
I agree with that. But man, the Jets, I'm hoping for you, Mouth, that this comes to fruition. That there's just they have so much talent right now. They can't be that bad.
No, and this is a pro Geno case, right? Where it's like, this is the best situation Geno's been in since, Seattle, but I don't know what happened in Seattle. I think it was the offensive coordinator. It was the Bears guy. I forget his name. That guy was an idiot, and JSN even called him out publicly, because you had DK, you had rookie JSN, who is, still a rookie, but look at what JSN's doing now. And you had Tyler Lockett, who's still he wasn't cooked then. And you had Kenneth Walker. That's a hell of a talented team. And Geno Smith just busted. He threw actually a decent amount of touchdown passes, but it was a lot of picks. It was a lot of games with 220 yards passing. So now it's 2 years of bad Geno. And I am still a believer in Geno. I really do believe in him. We can't anoint the Jets, even though the Jets anointing them would just say there'd be a top 15 offense, right? Because the bar is pretty fucking low after last year.
Yeah, that was a travesty. And the funny thing is, hadn't seen your show at all, and I was just like you. I was all in on Justin Fields. I was punting quarterback in every draft, and I was like, I'm going to get Fields late. I'm good. And man, that did not work out.
It was an easy pick though, dude. And there goes all my guys. So everyone I had in my queue is gone. I have to rethink my inks here. Man, I got to take a quarterback. This is the problem. I end up taking this fucking middle. These are elite quarterbacks, yes, but fuck. Don't love this. So we're going to take JD5. I don't know. I was hoping to get Harrison or Tate or a Dunze. What's up, Mark? What's up, Rob? What's up to all the boys? Hope you all doing well. Got the day off tomorrow for Canada Day. Canada Day. You got to explain this to us, Mark. So I had to stop by and catch the stream, counting down the days of the start of the season. Hell yeah, Mark. Mark, you got to let me know that I haven't really been talking to you too much. I miss you, dude. I'll DM you as well, but let me know if you're down for a redraft. We have a couple redrafts available, and you let me know if you want to get in, and your spot is obviously locked up as always. I would even boot someone for you, Mark. We have 2 more drafts to do right now, Derek. You can hang out as long as you want. You can hang out as short as you want. You can get off the stream and draft with us and be in the chat. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But I'll be on here. So
Do my best to fight through.
What? So you said you coach high school girls. Are you a teacher as well, or you just coach basketball? So I don't know.
I teach, and in Texas you have to teach to coach. So
you're on summer break though right now, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You're not doing shit. You don't have another job or anything?
No. Well, we still work. We have our what we call our skills practice. They give us 1 hour a day during the summers, and so I go up and the kids come in. We do a skills workout, and then other than that, I'm basically a key to a gym because, man, this summer basketball is crazy with all these teams, and they constantly need a gym. So
does your wife work?
Yeah, she works at the school with me.
No shit.
Yep.
Do they pay teachers a lot down there or something?
It's not a lot, but it's gotten better, but we're still not where it needs to be. But you can.
But you're telling me you raised daughters, and they're doing great.
Yeah.
You are living in a pretty comfy situation. You're donating to this channel, and you're not wealthy. You just must love me or something. I'm just trying to Did you win the lottery? What's going on here, man? You're doing all these best ball drafts. I'm just curious. I'm just not to get too personal, but
not at all. I just enjoy it. It's kind of I'm a empty nester now. Not that they're completely off of my payroll, to be honest, but I enjoy this, and I like the channel, like what you do, and so I always want to support, especially somebody on the ground level trying to
I
make it
appreciate
happen.
that, man. It's America right here is what we're doing, and much appreciate. Because it's one thing for like someone that has like millions of dollars, like their donations. You know what I'm saying? Like when like Bono like donates a fucking, it's like that's a tax write off, and that dude's a fraud. Like I don't care about Bono's donations. Like when hard earned money from someone that's middle class, that's not struggling, but living means a lot more than fucking Bono's donations. Like I hate to throw Bono under the bus here, guys, but like I'm gonna keep on doing it. Like Bono, you're a turd.
What is it? What's going on? I heard a noise. Is somebody downstairs?
Oh, God, Meg, you startled me. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Bono. I gotta be careful because Bono is known for like going after people. But you know what? I just did what South Park did. The episode where he's actually a turd. Like I was just kind of stealing their material. So there you go. So kind of digging this team a little bit more than the other one. So Mark says Canada Day is like your guys' Independence Day. Yeah, I got you. Mark's crushing the job right now, and I will say, Mark, I do miss all the times of Let's Get It to start the stream. Mark was the most consistent, watching every stream, so I do miss that. But ooh, we just got ourselves a little Blake Corum. Does this work for buys? It's the same buy. I don't give a shit. I'm taking the best player available. Blake Corum. Hell yeah. I miss it.
I almost sniped him, but I went ahead and took a second quarterback.
Jonathan used to coach varsity women's basketball with my grandpa back in the day. So, Derek, what is your take on people that rip on the WNBA and women's athletics in general? I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm just posing the subject because that is your thing.
It's funny because I told you earlier, I coached boys for 23 years before I switched over. And I definitely see some things that, this world is a man's world for sure. And things are so biased. And even with us and my athletic director and different things, there's different things that happen. And I'm like, hey, we're over here. That being said, like I pay attention to it more. I know who the players are more, but I don't watch the WNBA.
Well, of course not. Jesus.
I just can't. I can't bring myself to do it, man. It's I support them. I'm glad they're finally making a little bit more money, and apparently the league is a mess right now with them just beating the shit out of each other on the court. But I mean,
yeah, I've heard about
the NBA went through that stretch back in the day too. So.
Although we long for those days in the NBA, don't we? We long for those days.
Yeah. To be honest, you saw a little more of that this year. Like it definitely got physical. And once OKC was out and SGA wasn't flopping around, like, there was some physicality going on for sure.
Well, I know you said that it's still a man's world. Now, it's never been a better time to be a woman. And I also want to pose that I think maybe you're a little skewed because I love Texas, nothing against Texas, but like you guys do a little different down there. So maybe you guys are a little behind the times. Like I'm not saying you're Mississippi because in that case you'd be marrying your cousin, or maybe your wife would actually be your sister. But in Texas, like I think you guys are a little more old school than we are. We're up north, guys. We're progressive. Remember we freed the slaves. Remember that, Derek? Not personally, but it's in the history books. We did that.
I do recall hearing that. Yes.
Yeah, it was all us, man. We did it, and I'm going to take credit for that. Okay, so give me something for freeing this. Shit. Just Texas is. You've always lived in Texas, huh? So Texas forever.
Yeah, I was born in San Antonio and ended up out in West Texas when I was younger. And grew up out there during the oil boom in the late 70s, early 80s. And
what What do you think about Joe Rogan moving to Texas? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I don't really have much thoughts on it. I know it's kind of, it is cool that it's kind of made Austin a kind of a comedy hub. I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and so that part's been pretty cool.
Give me your top 3 stand-up comics of all time before, and you're up. I'm trying to give you the hardest question so you fuck up your pick.
Dave Chappelle.
Yes, you got it right. That's number one. That's number one.
I've seen Dave Chappelle live. He's one of my favorites. Hold on, let me make this pick. This is
throw him off.
This is gross. I really should not have taken a second quarterback earlier. Ugh.
Take, man. Oh God, yeah, you definitely fucked up.
All right, I'll go.
You done and fucked up, Ron.
That's a gross pick. But Dave Chappelle, I love Bill Burr. I don't know if you can call him top 3 all time, but he's one of my favorites for sure. Love Bill Burr. Seen him live multiple times. It's really hard to quantify that because, do you go old school and say Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, George Carlin? Those guys were awesome. I love a guy like Anthony Jeselnik with his dark humor. Daniel Tosh is great, man. He's never gets talked about, but his stand-up is awesome. I love that.
To call Jeselnik dark humor is like calling me fit. Like, I'm an athletic fat dude, but like Jeselnik's that's not dark humor. That's hell. That is the darkest fucking shit. And, I'm not saying I don't like it. Like, I don't get offended easily or at all, really. There's a couple things that I don't like, a couple things that really grind my gears. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to show it. Can I just show it? This is all speculation, wink, wink, but grinds my gears. There it is. That's you know what this means. This is what grinds my gears. There's a couple things that I can't get over that really offend me and appall me and just really make me want to be angry. I'm not an angry person. I am a very positive, upbeat person. Couple things, though, and that one in particular. But dark humor is not one of them. But Jeselnik takes it to the next fucking level with the shit he says and just leaves a joke hanging, too, which is just, he's an artist, man.
I love how, yes, definitely. And, like, you always, it's going to go somewhere that you don't realize yet. And then he'll turn a direction, and then he goes even further than you think. And it's crazy. I actually saw him live. I went down to Austin and watched him live with my oldest daughter. We sat dead center in the front row.
No way.
It was a great show. Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's good stuff. That is good stuff. I have look at these boring wide receivers I just took. Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Jalen Coker. That is the definition of a sit and go floor picks.
That's what I'm about to take.
What you got to do sometimes, man. That was my 3rd and 4th and 5th receiver. I needed some floor there.
Mouth. God damn it. I knew Mouth was going to do that.
Yeah, Shakir was on my radar too. With Shakir or Coker for me.
I don't like this. Diggs has to sign somewhere.
He will.
Who is Connor? Connor's going to do it. Son of a bitch. Don't do it, Connor. Connor's the only guy in the chat between, because I picked before both you and Mouth, and there he goes. Shit. He went before Connor.
There goes Shaheed. Goes Shaheed.
That's the one I was looking at. I should have gone down and gotten him instead of Diggs.
Delayed beer chug for y'all. This is from Mark. Thank you, Mark, my dude. They're getting slower every time. They're getting a little slower. I got to take a potty break soon. All right. It was great to see Storey back yesterday. We had, 2 weeks without Storey. I was having some withdrawals, and he truly is, if Fantasy Pros was going to hire somebody from this channel, it would definitely be Mike Storey, and it would not be me, unfortunately. I think I could host a Fantasy Pros show because I can rein it in. I think I could rein it in a little bit, and I could do the pop culture stuff, but I'd be biting my tongue so fucking much. I just want to guest host. I want to guest host the fantasy footballers and just fucking blow their mind, or just go on the fantasy footballers and blow their minds with some shit. There is just no way they would have me on though. So one day.
Story and Nick O's good too, man.
Oh, that's a good call. Nick O is probably the best talker of the group. Nick O is just the story always brings up. He's like, how does I've never seen someone that can say 3 or 4 sentences without taking a breath or saying or like, because we all do those things. He's always not always hammered, but like he's a bourbon drinker. And I've never once actually, I've hung out with Nick quite a bit. I've known him for a long time. He's like a friend of the family, essentially, like a friend of my sister's husband. So like he's been in the family for a while. And he used to drink a lot, and like he's chilled out. He's the best dad ever, honestly. He's probably on your level, Derek, of just he's got girls and just all-time dad. But like I've never actually seen Nick O drunk, but I've seen him drink a bottle, which is like a riddle. It's like, well, I've seen you drink like an ungodly amount, but he gets like giddy and a little more energetic, but like never slurs his words, never like he doesn't change. So he's usually drinking on the show. You just don't see it because he's drinking bourbon. And like, I don't understand how he's so articulate. Like it's the first time I had him on the show. It was back in the Kappa days, and I'm like, we didn't have anyone else. He was the first like guest we ever had. I'm like, dude, ball. I've been playing in your league since like 2008. I was like, dude, I know you. Like, come on, you'd be fun. We'll have a good time, drink some beers. And the first like minute, I was like looking. I was just like, what the fuck? And like Kappa's awesome. Me and Kappa had so much chemistry, but. Kappa is not I'm not saying Nico is like a professional in terms of like he went to school for it, but like some people are just above that in a way where like he just had it, the it factor. And the first minute he was on, I was like, holy fuck, this dude is just like, he was born for this. It was the first time ever on a show. And just, I've never seen anything like it because Storey had some experience prior. And dude, it blew my mind. I was just like, this guy is fucking, he's the truth, man. And so happy to have him back involved because there was about a year without him, and he took a whole year off from football essentially. Like he's still a giant Niners fan. He did his one league where he commissions it. He like scaled his leagues back and just like wanted to focus on his family, which totally appreciate. And like having him back is just a breath of fresh air. Like just a guy I truly love hanging out with and just talking ball with. I like his opinions and. It's just he's one of those guys, there's these people that just have like an aura, like a light, where there's people that have the other end where it's just like this is a bad person. This is toxic. This is just bad vibes. Like it's just the exact opposite with Nico. This guy is just like you have to be happy around him because he's just not a guy you want to piss off because he will fucking destroy you. Like he could be not angry, but like the guys that you'd never think would like fuck you up because they're just always so chill. But he happens to be like 6'2", like 280. And you don't want to like piss that. If you get that guy pissed off, that's just a mistake. But just being around the guy, just good vibes and brings out the best in everyone. So it's another great addition. I think you saw Hastings on the show too. Hastings is pretty fun too.
It goes 6'2", 280.
Yeah, I think maybe 270. I mean, because I'm 6 foot 250, and like I shouldn't be that big, but like he's just a bigger individual. Like he's an offensive lineman type dude. And he gives a lot of respect to the O lineman out there, which we need because a lot of channels they don't talk about that. So Nick O is essentially our offensive line expert. He's the trenches expert, right? He pays a lot of homage to the guys in the trenches, which no one talks about because they're just big, fat, white, oafy dudes. And when I call them fat, they're in much better shape than me. But you get my point.
Yeah, I did not picture that.
Oh, he's
Oh,
a
I guess
giant individual.
I guess I'll see it in November. He and I have a date, right?
Oh yeah. You have a date with him. He might go on our guys trip with Campbell. Yeah, within like a minute of the Dynasty stream we did, Campbell hopped in before we did the stream, just in the lobby, and they were talking for like a minute. He's like, "Dude, you're coming to the fucking guys trip." Like 1 minute of meeting. They're both dads and they both love bourbon and just like the vibes. Like they're both similar people. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense because those are two of my favorite people, and I like to think I attract, like-minded, just like I said, just people are inherently good. There's just a lot of shitbags out there. It's about, getting through that. And a lot of people have better shitbag detectors than others. And, oh, God damn it. Come on, man. Mouth. I don't like this. I don't like this anymore. There goes TJ Hawkinson. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of what you just did. That's just fuck. I have Brock Bowers, so I guess it's not the end of the world, right? I just love Hawkinson so much. Are you on board with Hawkinson with me, or am I just still on an island? Because I think he's actually been going in these drafts now, getting sniped, but you don't snipe him very much.
I'm not as high as you. Like a lot of what you're saying makes sense. I do think that he'll have a bit of a bounce back just based on Kyler's checkdowns. That's the biggest part. I just I do, like Storey says, I do think he's pretty dusty as well. So it's all going to be. I mean,
he's like 29, bro. He's not that dusty. He just is. You know what happened? Do you want me to tell you what happened? This is the what we need to parse through as a community and to make more money. Is we all remember the clip of him running that ghost route when he like juked himself out. He did all those moves and the defender was just looking at him and he like covered him. Do you remember that clip that happened last year, like week 7?
Yeah.
Everyone saw that clip, and the production was bad last year. But again, everyone's production was so Justin Jefferson's production was bad last year, so that means he's bad. Like you pair the production with that clip, one play, bad route, probably one of the worst routes I've ever seen. Not gonna say it wasn't.
It's almost been like downhill forever though. I had him as a rookie. His first game was like 10 catches, 110 yards, and I feel like it's been downhill from there ever since. His first game.
Yeah, it wasn't a good first game or a good season.
No, his first game. I feel like
people saw that clip though. Oh, it was good. You're saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, look that up. You get what I'm saying though? I feel like that clip mixed with the production. And coming off the, he's still not back from that injury, and people are just like, "Oh, he's terrible. He's old." I'm like, he's 28, and his last full season healthy was 95 catches. Like we all forgot. I'm not saying TJ Hawkinson's like a god. I'm saying he's going tight end 21. That's insane. That is insane to me because he's going around there. Look at who's going around him right now. Sadiq, rookie with the timeshare. Dalton Schultz, AJ Barner.
Here you go. 6 catches, 131 yards, and a touchdown. This first
that was
game
last
in the
year?
NFL. No, that was his first game in the NFL with the Lions.
Yeah, but it didn't go downhill. Go to his first year. His first year in Minnesota, he had 95 catches, brother, in 15 games. That happened. That's good shit. Oh, you're on the clock. Don't miss it. Or no, you already picked. You made your pick. You made it. You picked. You picked Luther Burden. You got Luther Burden in the 15th round, bro. Like, get out of here with that. That's good shit right there. I endorse that. All right, I have to make a couple nice picks here to salvage this, and I have a couple options that I think would be good. All right, we're gonna make this work, man.
Ridley, Connor. All right. Looking up Hawkinson. Yeah,
before the next draft starts, I got to have a conversation with you about Brandon Ayuk because I got to get your pulse on it because you're an old school dude. I didn't mean that you're old, even though you're older, We call you the stepfather on this program because we have our dad and our grandpa. Now we have Fancy Dog, who is officially the grandpa. He is like 72. Shout out Fancy Dog if you're in here. And then Jay is the elder statesman. He was the elder statesman at 66. And then you're in that nice meaty middle part there, which is I feel like my demographic should be 31 to 41, right? Just based on right between my age. I'm 38. Pop culture stuff. And I'm a little bit of an old soul because I like 8 shit from the 80s. And like we're both movie guys, so I think we've kind of connected on that. We know good movies and good music and shit like that. What kind of music do you like, man? Are you a fucking Madonna fan because of the Pits?
I'm pretty eclectic in my music for sure. You know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Pearl Jam, probably 2 of my favorite bands. But you know, I work around teenagers, and so I grew up listening to some rap, still listen to some, but you know, pretty much everything. Not a huge country fan, to be honest, but
ew, country's the worst. Hold that thought. David asks, is Michael Wilson going to have a better season or regress? Oh, he's definitely going to regress because his target share was insane. The passing volume was insane. I love Michael Wilson. I took him in this specific draft, but the splits with Marvin Harrison and without Marvin Harrison was like something like 5.6 PPR points with Marvin Harrison in the field, playing a full allotment of snaps, and 17 fantasy points per game without him. That's going to be in between those two numbers is my guess, so probably 10 fantasy points a game. He's going to be fine as ADP, but he's more of a floor play this year because, like, where is the upside with Michael Wilson? It's if Marvin Harrison has another appendectomy, or Jacoby Brissett throws 61 passes a game again, which neither of those things are happening. So that would be my answer, David. Are you in on Michael Wilson?
I love Michael Wilson, but I agree. I mean, he's going to have some regression, and I just feel like they're gonna force feed Marvin a little bit, and obviously we got McBride. You've got Love there now, so definitely going to be some regression.
So you like the Chili Peppers, old Chili Peppers, hopefully more than new Chili Peppers. There's not a lot of new Chili Peppers, but Californication is not a great album. Do you think it's a great album?
I do.
I see. I'm a 311 dude. I'm a 311 guy. That's my all-time. Like, I like other bands more. I think other bands are better than 311, but that is I've liked them since '95, since I was 7. I've seen them 20 plus times. Best live show I've ever seen. I've seen quite a bit of concerts, and just one of the most diverse bands. And I think that there'd be no 311 without the Chili Peppers because they were around in '84, where 311 was '88, and then like really 1991 was like when they really formed and like started making albums.
They really that old? 311?
Yeah, the difference between 311 and Chili Peppers is the Chili Peppers have been dead since like 2008. You know, they've released 2 albums since 2008, something like that. 3 out, like really low amount. Like they're not really making music anymore or touring.
They put out 2 albums back to back just a few years ago. The Chili Peppers.
They don't when tour. When they tour though, it's like a giant thing. They play like 18 shows and they charge $1 million.
No.
You know,
I've seen the Chili Peppers like 4 or 5 times in the last handful of years.
How much were the tickets?
Just normal. I can't remember exactly what we paid, but yeah, I mean somewhere in that range, and we were down low, good seats. They did a huge arena tour or stadium tour because it was my daughter and I went and watched them at, I don't even know what it's called. It's the new Texas Rangers retractable roof baseball stadium.
In Arlington.
No, that's the old one.
I know.
Which has a new name now, but whatever the new one's called with the retractable roof.
Old Chili Peppers are so great, bro. Old Chili Peppers are so great, but I don't know. I don't like Poppy Chili Peppers, and I think I obviously I like Poppy 311, but they have more. I feel like their newer albums are closer to what I loved about their old shit than Chili Peppers. Like once Chili Peppers hit Californication, they just became a radio friendly, Like, people don't realize, I know you know this, Derek, because you're a little older than me and you're a big fan. Like, they're not even like Blood, Sex, Magic, whatever that album is, but like the early stuff is so funky and so wild and rap rock. They were, you know, there would be no Rage Against the Machine without Chili Peppers. They were of that ilk. And then they just became super mainstream where like 311 was never that popular. 311 is like this channel, like with a way higher bar of like grassroots, and they never really hit the big time outside of 95. Like, they're never gonna be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is, I don't want them to be because I think that's bullshit. Like, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just like every other Hall of Fame, which is just a joke.
I think they're that good though. I'm a big 311 fan. I like
they
them.
should be, but they're never going to be because they're not going to get that. I got to make this pick here, and I think I'm going to take a receiver. Yeah, I'm going to take a receiver.
You're not going to get Torrey Horton because Mal took him 28 picks before ADP.
Yeah, I'm taking Tyquan Thornton. That's fine. They won't be, but here's what I will say about 311 is they're on pace because the best thing is they've had the original members since 1990. They've never played one show without the 5 people. So there's never, you know, a rotating guitar player or bass player. It's always the same 5. They are going to break the Grateful Dead's record for most live shows by an American rock band, American band in general. They're going to break this record, and it's going to take about 6 more years, I think, from my math. I was trying to do the math, and a lot of this stuff isn't that well documented from the 70s and shit. And the Dead played, you know, Dead were from the 60s essentially. And I'm not counting like completely Dead and Dead and Company because that's not Jerry Garcia. I'm talking about the same members playing, and they're going to be they're going to have the most concerts of any band of all time. And like, for me, that says a lot. Consistency for me in sports and everything is I respect the fuck out of that, man. And that's something that nobody knows that goes overlooked. And like, that is my Chili Peppers of 311 argument of like, these guys have been grinding and they're still grinding 60 shows a year and still putting out albums every 3 or 4 years, which doesn't seem like a lot, but they're on like album 15. And at some point you're just not going to be putting out, you know, the volume that you would putting out when you were in your 30s on cocaine, for instance. Like, you had some driving forces back then. You know, Derek, they're like 6 years older than you. You start to slow down a little bit in your 50s, right? You just want to chill and like drink your long drink or whatever the hell you're drinking.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
311's here in August.
Have you ever seen them live?
I haven't.
Oh, dude. Can you do me a favor and go to see them?
I may go. Oh,
I promise you, you're going to literally text me and be like, yeah, that was one of the best shows I've ever seen. And this is still like, these are old guys, but they're all in good shape relative to other, 56-year-old rockers, because typically like 45 rockers are decrepit because of all the drugs and shit.
And they're with the Dirty Heads. I love the Dirty Heads.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to see. If you like the Dirty Heads, I've seen the Dirty Heads 3 times. I have an argument with my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and then also Kappa's wife. Most of they're like, Dirty Heads are better than 311. I was like, Dirty Heads are very pigeonhole type music, right? It's just reggae, rap, rock is what it is. And I love the Dirty Heads, but like, that's a great opener.
It's like beach rock.
It's fucking great. So I'm telling you, if you like the Dirty Heads, you're going to love this fucking show. And 311 will just, as much as you like the Dirty Heads, they're actually pretty good live too. The difference, you'll see the difference. It's like Little League compared to Major League. Promise you. This is one of the best rock bands of all time. I'm trying to sell my guys here. I get nothing. By the way, 311 did not sponsor this show. I promise you. All right, let's get the draft grades here. We have Montana with Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, and Aaron Rodgers. He loves his Steelers. Bijan, Jeremiah Love, Jonathan Brooks, Ja'Cory Crosky Merritt, and Tank Bigsby. Nico, Jamison Williams, DK Metcalf, Quentin Johnson, Jalen McMillan, Trey Tucker, Malik Washington, and Kayshon Boutte. Loveland and Pat Freiermuth at tight ends. So, very balanced team. Trying to think of what the issues would be. DK as a 3 isn't great, but this is in the B- range for me. I think it's a pretty fair, pretty balanced team. What do you think, Derek?
I agree. I don't love Jonathan Brooks as a 3, but JCM and Tank Bigsby, I think you'll be all right there. That's the only issue I see is kind of the depth at running back.
Yep.
But aside from that, it's a good team. I'd say B minus to solid B ish.
All right, we're gonna have. Where am I at here? I am right here. We have 5th pick for me, Jaden Daniels and Cam Ward, similar to your quarterback room last draft. Travis Etienne, Bucky Irving, Ramondre Stevenson, Blake Corum, Braylon Allen, JSN, Terry McLaurin, Michael Wilson, Wandale Robinson, Jalen Coker, Jalen Naylor, Isaac Tesla, Adonai Mitchell, and Tyquan Thornton with Brock Bowers and Cade Otton. I went pretty hard at that middle round at wide receiver because my wide receivers are poo with Michael Wilson as my 3. I like the tight end room with Brock Bowers, obviously. I don't like Michael Wilson as my 3, but I think Wandale, Coker, Naylor, Tesla, Adonai, I think these guys should be able to pair it together. That's probably my weakness. But we took enough of them. We took 9 of them. Do you have any issues with this team, like glaring issues?
No. I like your running back depth. If Bucky is healthy, then I think it's going to be really, really solid. Maybe only having Cam Ward as your second quarterback.
Yep, same thing that I said to you. It's the same thing. I was like, man, my receiver room was way worse than yours though, and I needed 9. I felt like I needed 9 in this team, so I'm gonna go as Jaden Daniels goes. If he stays healthy, it'll be fine. If he gets hurt, I'm cooked. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and that's last night was a whole different thing when I had the three quarterbacks and they all 3 had the same bye. But at the time when I kept punting quarterback, my whole thought was I've got Lamar, and if Lamar's not going to carry me, then the team's not going to be that good anyway. So it's kind of the same deal with Jaden Daniels there. I like it as a solid B with some upside potential, especially having Bowers. Potential B plus.
All right, Mouse says B minus. I saved it because the receiver room was pretty grody there, man. It was looking bleak. We have Mouse Squad here: Lamar Jackson and Jared Goff, JT, Devin A. Chain, Tony Pollard, RJ Harvey as your 4, James Conner with Zay Flowers, Ted McMillan, Marvin Harrison, Michael Pittman as your 4, Shakir, Juwan Jennings, Stribling, and Torrey Horton with Dalton Kincaid, TJ Hawkinson, and Eli Stowers. This is how you build a sit-and-go team, man. This is an A minus. I love everything about it. The running back room has depth, has upside. Quarterback room is elite and great with 2 steady guys at the position with upside. And I do like what you did there with Pittman, Shakir, and Jennings. I think the only issue is the back-end receiver room, but I think Jennings is a nice floor. You got a rookie, and then Torrey Horton we all love. So I'm going to give an A minus in this squad. Marvin Harrison is a fine 3 in my book.
Yeah, I like the receiver room. Love the running back room aside from Connor, but I mean, he was the 209th pick. So obviously, like you said, quarterback loaded. Tight ends are decent, but you took 3 of them. It's a really good team. I'd say B plus.
We like this squad. Mouth hit the fucking nail on the head here. I love it. I think he finally drafted a sit-and-go team from what I saw. Sometimes that's my critique. And this is the last guy here. It is you, Derek. We have Dak Prescott and Trevor Lawrence. Derek Henry, Javonte Williams, Bashal Tootin, Rashad White, Tyrone Tracy. Wow. St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Roma Dunze, Stephon Diggs, Trey Harris, Jerry Jeudy, Zach Branch, Darnell Mooney, Elijah Surratt, Fannin, and Juwan Johnson. So this running back room is an A+. The quarterback room is pretty damn good with just 2. I think your build is money, right? 9 receivers, same as me. I personally don't love the receiver. I think Trey Harris and Jerry Jeudy were nice after Diggs, but Diggs is a 4. We have to see where he goes, so I'm not going to ding you too much for that. But Branch, Mooney, and Surratt, I don't know. I like this more as a tournament team with those receivers. That being said, it's still in the B range. It's not one of your better teams. I think you got a little lost at wide receiver, but the running back room is the tits, bro. It's the tits. So solid B. What do you think about the team?
I'd say the same. I like it, don't love it, especially with that. I love my first 3 receivers, having Rome as my 3rd, but then it just every time it came to receiver, and so I ended up. I think that's partially where I took, Trevor Lawrence as my second quarterback. I ended up with Rashad White, Tyrone Tracy. Like the other positions are what they are because of that middle receiver mess that I have. So I'd say,
yeah, Shakir would have really tied this room together with some stability. You mix Shakir with Trey Harris and Jerry Jeudy. It's still a pretty fine team. All right, let's hop in another draft here and see what we have. Man, these are all fucking empty. So we have like no drafts in terms of tournaments to get into because they are all. I'm not doing it. We can't do an eliminator together because we all know the strategy. We're not going to lose money like that. We want to have an even chance here. So we can hop in. I think our best bet. You know what? How many people want to draft? Dalmatian's gone. Mouth. It's already off. The mini Dalmatian or whatever is gone. The $100 Dalmatian is there, but we don't want to do that. So we can try this 12-person draft. How many people are drafting here? Who do we have? We have us three, Mouth, Derek, and myself. And then Connor, are you down to draft another one? That's 4. That's still only 4 of 12. So that is a concern here. $10. Nope. No, I'm not doing $25. So Connor's in. So let's fill up the 12-person draft right now. You know what? Hold on. Let me check my phone here because sometimes there's another drop down. Maybe there's one that's a little bit more full than this. And what do we have? I see one that has 2 out of 12 in there. So if you guys can find that one, I'm going to enter it. Nope, it goes right to the other one. So right now I'm in the one with 11 full. I'm going to back out and join on the screen so you guys can see it. And we're going to see how long this takes. So let's join this one. There it is. I'm the first one in there. So everyone join the $3 12-person draft. Let's see how long it takes. We'll chat for a little bit. And because there's really no tournaments.
Regular 2026 season?
Correct. Because this is, I don't know what Underdog's doing. Why don't they have like 3 extra tournaments up? People will join them. And the Eliminator and the weekly winners are just weird tournaments that I'm not saying I don't like them, but I don't want to draft them with you guys. I feel like they're just very specific. I want to do those in slow drafts. Guys, $3, 12-person sit and go on Underdog. Join in now. Let me know who's in to draft. Just join it, and then we'll chat it up. I'm going to take a bathroom break and play a clip, and then I have a couple things to talk to Derek about. Pressing things.
I'm going to take the bathroom break, too.
Yeah, let's take a bathroom break.
Jay Quellen. No Jay Quellen here?
Do you mean Jacqueline?
Okay, so that's how it's gonna be. Balake. Where is Balake at? Yes, sir.
My name's Blake.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? Do you want to go to war, Balake?
No.
D Nice. Is there a D Nice?
Do you mean Denise?
Son of a bitch! Ron. Where are you? Where is Ron right now?
Here.
You know, I said it like 4 times, so why didn't you say it the first time I said Ron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron?
Son of a bitch!
All right, we are filling up. We are waiting for 6 people. Only 6 people. Jonathan's looking forward to our redraft league. Yeah, man, there's a couple, Jonathan, so you can sign up for both of them. We're going to have more than just the few we have. And as many as y'all want to get in, I'm going to be making for you guys. And I'm going to be playing in all of them, commissioning all of them. Miles commissioning one of them, but I'm going to be in that league as well. So going to be a great time. We're looking for 6 people. Might be hard to do the 4th draft tonight. We'll see how it goes. I wish they had a tournament up, which is just so much quicker to fill and just doesn't waste time. So they have the Dalmatian, the $100 draft. There's nothing. You think so, Connor? My experience is the $3 drafts fill faster than the $5 drafts. And usually there's only one lobby. I'm going to take a look. I'll just keep an eye on it. So the $5, yeah, one has 2 and one has 1. All right, there's a big guy here. All right, let's. I'm going to ask you a couple questions before this draft fills, and there's some news that dropped here, and I'm going to get the news here. So we have Terrion Arnold is waived officially. This is what we've been saying. Of course, they're going to waive him. So he's gone. He's never playing football again. He's probably never going to be a free man again. Not until he's an old individual. And then we also have the report of Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if you saw this, but the Athletics' Nick J, I'm just going to say Nick J, believes Brandon Ayuk's recent social media posts could prove concerning for Commanders front office. No shit for any front office because he's fucking lost his mind. And this is how I want to phrase this. Who is dumber? These decisions these two guys have made. Brandon Ayuk with all the stuff with the Niners and the social media posts. And then Terrion Arnold, who essentially just threw his life away. Now, I know like one is much more serious with Arnold in terms of legal ramifications and all that kind of stuff. But who is dumber? And I think there's an obvious answer, but there might be a dark horse answer. So give me your answer. Who's dumber, Arnold or Brandon Ayuk?
I mean, it's hard to not say the guy that is fixing to go to prison for a long time. Ayuk is dumb and probably fixing to write off his own career, but I got to put Arnold at the top of that list.
All right, I'm gonna make a different argument. You ready for this? I'm gonna see if I can sway you on this. So, what Arnold did was worse. Obviously, it was like insane what he did. But we're all familiar with the crimes of passion thing, right? Where like we tend to. I'm not saying like a lot of times judges give them more leniency, but in general, like Terrion Arnold's crime was more of a crime of passion because he was pissed about felt slighted about the $250K, which would piss anyone off, and I understand that. But he made a reaction to something that happened to him, and it was a really bad decision. And no one got murdered, but essentially the law does not look kindly on kidnapping and armed robbery. That's two things that they're going to fuck you over on. Where Brandon Ayuk, there's no reason for any of this, so I'm going to say Brandon Ayuk's dumber. What Arnold did was worse, but what Brandon Ayuk's doing is just straight up stupid. If he had just showed up and did his rehab, he would have not lost all this money. He would have been on another team right now or on the Niners. And he has thrown away so much money in his career, I think. He's thrown it away. For what? Just to spew dumb shit on social media when he's a moron that no one wants to hear what he has to say. And no one should care what he has to say because it doesn't make any sense. And he's what is he doing? So I think Brandon Ayuk's actually dumber than Arnold because I'm saying the human element, the human factor of Arnold making an emotional decision, which was really dumb. He's a young kid. I'm not saying I would have made that decision because I have common sense. But he thought he'd get away with it regardless. Like, I think Ayuk's dumber. And does that make any sense to you, Derek? That, like, what he's doing is it makes no sense to me. And I understand why he did what he did, Arnold. I'm not saying it was right. I see the reason why a human being would want to do that, to get even and get his shit back. The same thing OJ did. Where, like, I don't see any reason why Brandon Ayuk is doing this. He could sit on his ass, do his rehab, not play, and get his guaranteed money.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, you make a good argument. It's clearly dumb. And now, saying the stuff that he has with the Redskins, like that report says, it clearly shows that there's been some contact. And, he's probably burned that bridge now too. So even if the Niners did turn around and cut him, then he's, I always want to say Redskins, the Commanders probably wouldn't even sign him now because it's going to show that collusion.
Quad, it says Ayuk reminds me of Antonio Brown at the end of his career. Well, you know who Antonio Brown at the early part of his career reminds me of? It's Luther Burden. Yeah, and the thing is, Antonio Brown, that was CTE, and like maybe Brandon Ayuk has it because Aaron Hernandez had it when they went at his brain. But the best part of this report that just makes me kind of chuckle is it says that what was once a seemingly minimal risk option now appears more concerning. Like that's the understatement of the century because Brandon Ayuk is the definition. It's the Kyler Murray thing, right? Where you sign those guys to the league minimum and they're getting paid elsewhere and they have talent. it was a zero risk signing. Like everyone in the league would have signed a Brandon Ayuk to a minimum deal with what he put on film and what he did in San Francisco with his age and everything else, regardless of the injury. And now he's just made himself a damaged goods and pretty much untouchable. Like it's almost like with the story, you know, look at Deshaun Watson. I mean, that was not even the same situation, but the off the field stuff clearly impacted his play on the field and the injury. So it's like a parallel of Deshaun Watson. And like, why would anyone want this guy in their locker room? Unless they're trying to like, you know, boost their social media score and have a guy that's going to stream in the locker room. There is no reason to bring Brandon Ayuk anywhere near your team because Stephon Diggs is still available. Keenan Allen is still available. Deebo Samuel is still available. Are those fucking guys on social media right now being like, fuck the NFL, fuck the Niners, fucking I got all this money? Like, no, because they're adults. Brandon Ayuk's not an adult. So why do you want a kid who's coming off an injury, who's clearly a clown, in your locker room? I don't think you do.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. I completely agree with that.
LOL, we're in the $3 sit and go. $3 12-team sit and go draft. Hop on in.
Two more?
Two more. But it's just hilarious that he went from literally the easiest signing ever. Every team would have paid him nothing to have at least give him a chance, right? And now it's like, do you even want to put that on your franchise? Do you want to be like, and then there's no domestic stuff here. There's none of that. It's just dumb shit. It's like, what kind of message are you sending to your players? Like, we're going to bring this guy in because he's not Calvin Johnson. He's a fine receiver that had a really good year with Kyle Shanahan, you know, calling the plays, and as a number 2 with Deebo and George Kittle. Like, and it was Christian McCaffrey wasn't there that year, but it was a really good team. And it wasn't Brandon Ayuk. Like, he wasn't the reason he put up those numbers, at least in my mind. And now he's just literally pissing in everyone's face and thinks he's going to get paid. That's why it's dumber than Terrion Arnold. And I think, did I convince you? Are you going to agree that Terrion Arnold is not as dumb as Brandon Ayuk? He made a worse decision, but it's not he didn't commit forearm robberies. Like, Brandon Ayuk's committing this every day.
Yeah. And like you said, Arnold's being, you know, crime of passion, so to speak, or whatever. But Ayuk is dumber. Yes, I will agree with that.
Where, you know, like someone like Henry Ruggs, it's not the same. Like Terrion Arnold, and we're going to throw all these guys in a bucket. Like, Henry Ruggs made a really, 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 really bad decision to drink and drive, and that's a bad decision in itself. You know what else is a bad decision? Is driving 145 miles an hour when you're not a race car driver. Jonathan can pull that shit off, but this is not a slow draft, Anthony. We're trying to fill this draft, just so you know. We have one more to start if you want to hop in. This is a $3 sit and go. The not a tournament, because there's no tournaments on Underdog right now worth playing. $3 sit and go. But the Henry Ruggs pairing the 150 miles an hour with the drunk driving is just a really bad decision, but that doesn't make Henry Ruggs a bad person. Just like we don't know that Terrion Arnold's really a bad person. And I don't think Brandon Ayuk's a bad person. I think he's a dumb person. Where Henry Ruggs made one bad decision and it cost him his career and kind of his life and, you know, generational wealth. Where Arnold literally committed armed robbery. And, you know, we learned the lesson from OJ, where it's like OJ literally allegedly, I'm going to do allegedly, but we all know the truth, killed 2 people and didn't serve any jail time. And he had to pay, you know, $38 million. He didn't pay shit of that.
He was found guilty of that, but it was just
he was found guilty in civil court. But which is here's the thing. I always tell this story. Civil court is easier to be a guilty verdict is easier to obtain in civil court. But the reason he was found guilty wasn't that. It was because they had new evidence. You know what the new evidence was, right? Hold on one second. My earbud fell out. You know what the new evidence was in the OJ thing, right? I don't know if you followed that, but
I'm sure I do. I don't recall.
It was the shoes, bro. So the shoes, they had a match of the shoe pattern, right? It was these Italian boots print. That only like 550 were made ever. And in terms of that's in every size, right? And he was a size 12 or 13. So only like 60 of these shoes were ever made. And he's like, oh, I would never have those shoes. Those shoes suck. Never. And they found a footage from the Bills Super Bowl in like 1990. It was one of the 4, 93, I want to say, where he was a sideline reporter and he's wearing the fucking shoes. So they found this after. Yeah. and the gloves were obviously his, but there was a lot of those gloves made. They were very, very popular item, but they didn't have that evidence in the criminal trial where like that. You're telling me that this guy has one of the 60 pairs ever made and all the other evidence, like clearly he did it because of that. And that is why it's not the civil trial as it was easier to convict in a civil trial. We all know that. But like the reason he got convicted was because the shoes. And if they had that evidence, they had that footage, which, you know what, the defense team bungled a lot of shit. They should have done their research and found that footage, and he would have been in prison the rest of his life, and we wouldn't be talking about this hypothetical murderer situation because, come on, man. Like, there's never been more evidence against a single person in the history of the world. And, like, this guy walked. Yeah. And there was a lot, of stuff.
Crazy. It was crazy time.
Right? Rodney King. There was a lot of stuff. Latasha Harlan, like, a lot of stuff in LA in that time that contributed to this verdict. It wasn't a trial about OJ guilty, innocent. It was totally a race thing. And I understand it. And it was not a good time in LA, not a good time in this country. But sometimes we have to parse through that shit and maybe just be like, did this guy do the crime? Did he actually kill the people? What do you got?
Third pick.
Dude, have you ever had a first pick? I don't think I've ever seen you at number one.
No, I had the first pick. Was it last night or the night before? Because I've had it a few times because I've gone Gibbs every time, and the most recent one I went ahead and went Bijan just because I didn't have any Bijan stock at all. But I love being 3 because I love Jamar.
All right, LOL got in here. We have Quad. Is it Quaid? Quad? Is it Dennis Quaid? Quaddy?
Quaid.
Quaid. It's Quaid. Okay, what's up, Quaid? I love Quaid. Dennis Quaid's awesome. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Quaid is awesome.
I do want to throw a quick devil's advocate counterpoint on Arnold. It was a crime of passion, but he didn't even get the right people, right? Didn't he?
That's the funniest thing. It was the wrong people. It
was
the wrong people.
That's pretty
dumb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He didn't do his research. And I got the 6th pick. Guys, I had the 5th pick the first draft. No, it was 6 the first draft, 5 the second, 6 the third. So these are all going to be really similar teams. We have Mouth at 8. We have Connor at 11. We have LOL at 2. We have Quaid at 1 and Derek at 3 and Montana at 4. So you guys, we have 4 people in the chat all on there. So cool. Jonathan says, I used to see OJ driver on Vegas all the time at the golf courses, and his plate on his car said not guilty. That's awesome. I've told this story on the stream before.
Is that real?
No, it is. It is real. So my brother was in Miami for the Cubs Marlins 2003 series, that epic series. That was the Bartman year, right? So that we're big Cubs fans, and he was down there, and OJ at that time was in Miami, and then he went to Vegas after that. He ran into OJ at a club, and OJ had like 2 21-year-old girls like on his arms essentially. That's how OJ was rolling. This is obviously 2003, right? Way after the whole trial thing. And my brother passed OJ, and they walked past each other, and he's like, "Hey girls, like be careful." That's what he said. And I was like, dude, that's scary shit because you just said that to OJ, bro. Like, and I guess OJ, OJ was so great with fans and the media and just very likable guy. OJ smiled at him. That's all he did was smile, and that's who OJ was. That's why people didn't want to believe it because he was like the opposite of Barry Bonds, right? Barry Bonds hated fans and media, and it's just why Barry Bonds got such a bad rap. OJ was the exact opposite. He was the most likable celebrity in the history of athletes. Like, he was on commercial. Everyone loved him. He had that $1 million smile. He always took time for his fans. Like, he knew where he came from, and just what happened is just wild, dude. All right, we got a JT 8-chain start. I kind of dig that one here. I agree, Mouth. That is exactly kind of what we're saying. Just wild that happened. If you haven't seen any OJ documentaries, it is just true crime stuff is great. Obviously all girls love watching true crime. My wife loved watching the crazy shit. She watches Forensic Files. I'm like, you're a girl. You're the victim in all these things typically. And they love that shit. They fucking love it. Nice Brock Bowers pick from Montana.
I was hoping he would pass him up.
One of the things I think I'm like an expert in, and I'm very weird with what I know. I know movies, I know football, sports, obviously, and like in terms of like serial killers, like all the main ones. I've watched every documentary ever on Bundy and Gacy and Dahmer, and then every major trial. Like I consume that shit, and I still like if an OJ doc dropped tomorrow, and I've seen like 3 of them, I would fucking watch it because I'm like, maybe there's some new information. Like maybe we find out something new about OJ or about Nicole or something like that. And you know what? That's being a true American, right? Or just being an idiot. Which I'm not saying I'm not. I am an idiot. There goes fucking Trey McBride. Damn it.
I'm going to go
Trey McBride there.
Dakota draft here. Is it Dakota that always goes receivers?
Yeah, typically he does that in DraftKings, which makes more sense. Like in DraftKings, he will go 6 straight receivers because it's full PPR. We might go... All right, we got 3 guys we like here. All right, I got some new blood in here. Like I said, we have Quaid. LOL's been here a little bit with us recently. Appreciate you, dude. Man, I don't want to take. I guess I hate this pick. I really hate this pick. I'm gonna take T. Higgins. I really want to take Olave. I'm not drafting Olave this year. I'm off. I had so many shares last year. You know what? You made me all the money, Olave. I'll let someone else take that landmine in the 3rd round. Mouth was hoping he'd get Olave. He likes Olave. So for you first-timers out there, Quaid and O'Connor, you're not a first-timer. We're going to do draft grades after the show or after this draft and talk about each team. Also, if you guys are interested in O'Connor, LOL, you as well, Quaid, if you want to join the community, Derek, give them 30 seconds. So Derek is a relatively senior member of the community, and not just because of his age. Love you, Derek. Let them know why they should join the community and what we offer, because it's, a lot of people want to sell you draft guides and shit, which you can get anywhere, like the Flock Fantasy tool that everyone uses, which is essentially pointless at this point. We offer something different around here, so let them know. Give them 30 seconds.
Yeah, definitely need to join. You get all the fantasy content, and it's in depth. After every game, that's when I really started watching, kind of in the middle of the season last year. Really started watching the post game stuff. Rob turned me on to Tucker Kraft and Michael Wilson last year. Really believed in that stuff, but you also get the bets. So you whatever level, doesn't matter. You can go to the Fanatics level, and you're still gonna make money just based on the money you can make with the prop bets that Rob does. So it's definitely worth your while.
There it is, 96 and 58 last year. We cleaned up. That was with a really bad week 18, guys. I went 1-6 because the games didn't mean anything, and that was an issue. I shouldn't have bet it because week 18 is the toughest week to bet in the NFL because you don't know how much guys are playing. But I was in such a heater, and with that record though, you would take the 1-6 away. I know it's easy to say, but like that would have been 95 and 52. Like that changes things a little bit. Either way, we all make mistakes, and that was like my auto draft of Sean Tucker. It was my week 18 betting. But besides that, you get the community, guys. This is something special. This is ground level shit. We only have 30 people in the Patreon. We have a little bit more than that in the Discord because I have some friends in there and some people, all the co-hosts are in there, obviously. So I think it's 50 people in the Discord, but 30 people in the community. And it is, Ibuka just fell. I hate Ibuka, but I feel like this is just pretty damn good value where I just got him. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's hands-on, right? We make sure, not just myself, but all the co-hosts to be involved. Anytime you guys have a question, not even on the show, I am there in the Discord for you guys. Like I am there. The community is there for you guys. So we're going to get all of, especially if you're a Dynasty player. I mean, Jesus, like there's so much stuff in Dynasty year round where you want to get a couple sets of eyes on these things and opinions. So, and so Derek, what do we trying to think? Give me 1 second. What do we call the Discord and in the Patreon, the community? We call it the
I can't remember. I think it's the place to be.
The place to be.
Tell me everything.
Okay, they were both.
Sir, what do you call it, Kramer? It was. Come on, already. What? Come on. We call it the place to be. The place to be. Yes.
Wrong clip there for a second. It is the place to be. So appreciate you, LOL. I'm glad that you came back, and hopefully you keep on coming back because we keep people coming and coming and coming. You know, it's like we're like the Viagra for fantasy. You get second and third wins up in here, just like we get on the show. We're like, next thing I know, I look up and I've been on here for 4 hours in a night, and I'm like, I'm feeling a little tired. And then someone makes a good comment or drops me a super, and I'm fucking back in, baby. I'm ready to go in, and I am up. There goes Bucky Irving. But we just got ourselves, there is some good value to be had, but we're going to go with DeAndre Swift. I don't draft a lot of DeAndre Swift, but I have him at the back end of this running back tier of Bucky, Henderson, Judkins, and Scatterbo, and David Montgomery. David Montgomery went really early.
Isn't Swift like Marshall Faulk? Doesn't he remind you of like a Marshall Faulk?
Dude, I've always loved Swift, but here's the problem with DeAndre Swift is, he ran out of Detroit when he looked really, really good, and it worked out because they got Jahmyr Gibbs. And then he had a pretty good year with the Eagles, and they ran him out of Philly. And now he's on Chicago again, and then Kyle Monunga is coming on. So it's like, I think DeAndre Swift's in the better half of the timeshare, but I know it's a timeshare. But we're buying in on the Bears offense here, right? We're buying in on the Bears being a top 10 offense. If that's the case, DeAndre Swift will meet his ADP even if he's in a 55% timeshare. Just based on, the touch, he'll score touchdowns even if he doesn't get all the goal line work. Ben Johnson is, he is a running game coordinator. Like every time Ben Johnson's involved in a team's offensive scheme, they're a top 5 running team. It's always going to happen. It's about the workload, and Kyle Monunga is much more of just a guy than people are anointing him. I like Monunga. Let's not forget he was a 7th-round pick. Now, it was a 7th-round pick in an all-time epic running back class. If Kyle Monunga came out this past year, 2026, he probably would have been, what would you say, a 3rd-rounder, 4th-rounder?
At the very least, because it kind of dropped off. It went Love and who was
Love and Price in the 1st round, and then it was like Kalon Black was the 3rd guy taken.
Yeah,
that's fact. That's also the Niners doing Niners things and being, trying to be cute, which is weird because the Niners hit on 5th-round running backs all the time and 5th-round players. Why are you reaching on an offensive, a running back in a weak class in the 3rd round? Really weird pick for the Niners. But you know what? I do tend to trust Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch there.
Yeah, for sure. I've told you about my other dynasty league, right? That roster it's a ridiculous roster. Monunga is still on my taxi squad.
That's a really good roster if he's in your taxi squad, dude. He's a running back 30. You know what I mean?
I haven't even taken him off. Oh man. Tough picture here.
We got Jedi in here. What's going on, Jedi? He says, I'm down next draft. He is a West Coaster, so he's got the best of all worlds. I think we're going to do a 4th draft. We got to see what the sit and go lobbies look like. If they're all empty, I don't know about waiting around 20 minutes, but how many people we have depends on it as well. But I think we can do that. We could probably do that. It's June. Why wouldn't we? It's June. We love it. What do you got, Derek? What are you making there? Caleb Williams. Okay. I always am taking in a sit and go, especially in best ball. I don't like taking early quarterback, but like when you get to this range in the 6th round, the skill position players are just kind of blah. It's like Mekhi Lemon. I like DK Metcalf and Quentin Johnston. At running back, you have Chuba Hubbard and Jadarian Price. But you can get Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams and Drake May. It's like, why wouldn't we take the elite quarterback? But I want to make teams where I take, Cam Ward and Kyler Murray and Geno Smith. I feel like that could be a fine quarterback room. But I don't want to take Parker Washington. Like, what does Parker Washington really do for me? It doesn't do much. And what it allows you to do when you take Drake May and Caleb Williams and Jalen Hurts is make a 2-quarterback build, which gives you another roster spot essentially. So I'm always in that conundrum where it's like I don't like the players going in that range. So I end up forcing the quarterback. And it's not over ADP or anything. It's just like I think those guys are fairly rated, but I want to get value. And I don't know if there's really value there. And is that how you see it, Derek?
Yeah, for sure. Really liking my team, other than these running backs I'm about to have to.
The American Sniper likes his team. I'm loving my team. I have Jonathan Taylor, Devin Achane, DeAndre Swift, and Jalen Warren with T. Higgins, Ibuka, and Marvin Harrison. I feel like I don't have a quarterback, but that's –
yours is kind of the opposite of mine because I don't have the running backs. But
Judkins and Hubbard, yeah.
Caleb Williams, Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith, and Colston Loveland. That's pretty juicy.
Oh, I always know when I'm getting drunk on the show, not because how I feel, because I always feel, on the show, I always keep it together. But when my beers start getting warm, like warmish, I'm a big drinker. I drink fast. When I feel that the beer is getting a little warm, I know I must be pretty drunk because my beers never get warm because I drink a beer in 10 minutes and they're always ice cold. So that means this beer lasted me like 50 minutes. Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing? Am I slurring my words, Derek?
You're not slurring yet. You're not.
Have you seen me? Have you seen me hammered though? I'm sure I have been, but have you ever seen me noticeably hammered on the show?
Yeah, but noticeably is probably a strong word. It's barely noticeable. You
have
definitely
you seen Ray hammered on the show?
I was gonna say you definitely handle yours a little better than Ray. I can't say much. I'm a bit of a lightweight, but it doesn't take me much. I only have one kidney, so that's one of the benefits. Is I'm a cheap drunk.
Oh, so I can take advantage of you if I ever see you in person?
No, I don't
get fucked, bro. That bad. You saw the hot guy list, okay? You don't want to be around me when you're drinking.
I don't know if I make your meet your criteria.
So you're missing a kidney. Have you seen the show Lost? The TV show Lost?
Yeah, years ago. I know you guys are big on it. I never went back and watched it all the way through.
John Locke pretty much gets conned out of his kidney from his biological father who he's never met. So I was wondering, did your, I know your father was a great man, so I doubt he would do that to you, but did a family member con you out of a kidney?
Yeah, basically.
No shit.
Brother,
come on. You gave a kidney to your brother.
My father needed a liver. I couldn't give him that. But my brother has my other kidney.
No shit. So look at you. Derek is just full of surprises. What a great guy donating his kidney. You know what? I commend you, man. That's some good shit. And wow, we just got ourselves a. All right, I just won this draft. I know, I don't throw that. I don't throw that around very often, Derek.
Damn it!
I just got Kyle Monungai. I know you're fucked now, buddy. You're fucked now. I didn't even need it, but my running back room. Maybe I'm too heavy at running back, but I know I'm going to make this work because I'm fine with 5 running backs. It's a very heavy room. But it's not too heavy because I have Higgins, Ibuka, and Harrison. This is good. We'll see if I can make this work. I think 4 would have been a little light, so I should have probably waited for my 5th. But Monungai being there, that's the end of a tier for me. So I'm going to have a flex at running back every single week and a very good one. So let's go. Bad. I'm just giving myself an A, dude. I got an A, baby. I got an A.
It's never good when I'm looking at my phone and there's only 2 running backs on the whole screen, in 20 players, and it's J.K. Dobbins and Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
Gainwell it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fine pick. That's a fine pick. You got okay there. We'll take Gainwell there. You done a fucked up AA, Ron. All right. I just got to figure out wide receiver, quarterback, and tight end. There's only a couple positions. No big deal. Only a few. I'm gonna keep pushing quarterback. I'm gonna do this in a sit and go. I should do this a lot more often because guys like Brissett and Geno Smith, you don't want in a tournament because they might lose their job or they might get benched just based on their team being awful. In a sit and go, I don't care because I'll have another quarterback to fill it the last couple weeks, and I can get such a big lead that I don't need my spike weeks to come 14, 15, 16. I need my spike weeks to come 1 through 10. So that is kind of how I differentiate the quarterback position in a sit and go opposed to a tournament. In a tournament, like Geno Smith, specifically Brissett, I don't think Brissett's starting the end of the year. And God damn you, someone just took – fuck. Okay.
Okay.
It kind of hurts. I really wanted Xavier Worthy. So –
I almost took him. I went downs. Montana took him.
We're going to take Ricky P for a little bit of upside there for our wide receiver 4. I couldn't take Michael Wilson because I already have Marvin Harrison.
Really interested to see San Francisco's target share.
I was looking at my exposure, man, and I'm really light on Ricky Pearsall, and I love Ricky Pearsall, the player. It's just the injury stuff. And I was just doing the equation in my head of like, okay, Mike Evans is the one. We all know that. But he's also really, really old and a hamstring injury waiting to happen. George Kittle's coming off an Achilles. We don't know when he's coming back. I think he's back early in the season, probably week 1. Maybe. I'd say it's 50-50. And then you have a rookie in Deshaun Stribling, who is a project in my mind. And you have Christian Kirk and Christian McCaffrey, of course, who's going to be the second target getter for sure. But Ricky Pearsall is the number 2 receiver in the Niners. Like, that is appealing as shit to me. And I should be higher on Ricky Pearsall. I think I'll have more. I think I'll be more about Ricky Pearsall in redraft because I can. The injury concern is real, and I'll just replace him when he's hurt, and it's not going to fuck me. But in a best ball, if he plays 8 games, now I'm getting 8 games of production out of my wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. That kills you. Where in redraft, does it hurt you at all with your flex or your 5th receiver? Not at all. So that I think, but I still want more. I want more shots at Ricky Pearsall because I think Ricky Pearsall's upside, even without a Mike Evans injury, is top 25 receivers. You think that's too rich because the talent's there, the offense is there.
I'm a big Pearsall guy too. I've always liked Pearsall. What are your thoughts on?
You haven't been drafting a lot of Pearsall though.
I have, yeah. I don't have huge shares. It just where it falls. I've taken him.
Well, you see what I'm saying? Like we should be drafting more Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, definitely. What are your thoughts on Kirk? Like especially for best ball, because he's the kind of guy that 1 or 2 weeks he could go for 10 targets, 8 catches, 90 yards and a touchdown.
Nope.
Just out of nowhere.
I am so off, Chris. Give me Tyquan Thornton every day of the week over Christian Kirk. Every day of the week. He's the 3rd receiver in Kansas City and a deep ball merchant. Christian Kirk is a guy that's going to get you 4 for 50. And he's not going to catch a lot of touchdowns. He had 1 good game last year with Houston. Like legitimately 1 good game.
Yeah,
that would have been usable in best ball. And does Houston really have a great wide receiver core? There's a lot of guys outside of Nico Collins, but no, dude, Christian Kirk's done.
I've always hated Kirk, to be honest. It's just, especially when he was in Jacksonville, he would piss me off. He'd have these weeks where he'd go off. I hated him, and I don't know. I feel like he could. Inevitably, Mike Evans is going to miss 2 or 3 games.
What's our quarterback situation looking like? We have 2, 1, 1, 1. Well, I better take a quarterback now. And it's going to be Bo Nix at pretty good value. I don't love it, but I feel like Love, Mayfield, and Shuck are guaranteed to be gone by the time I get back. They're probably gone by the time that this round is over because all you guys have 1 quarterback. So I think they're all going to go off right now. Let's see if I'm right. I think all 3 of these dudes are off the board by the time the round ends. We're waiting. Oh, it's Montana. There goes Love. Okay, there's one of them. Baker's next, and then Shuck is after that. Or you might take Shuck, and then Baker will be after that. Yeah, you can't take Baker. They have the same bye. I'm telling you, Derek, I'm helping you out. Don't take Baker. He has the same bye.
Ugh, I hate this. This is disgusting, but...
Oh, JCM. So this guy, the Purdy team's going to take Baker. There it is. And then this dude will probably take Tyler Shuck at one of these picks. There's Tyler Shuck. Oh, my God. Am I an Oracle? Have I done 150 of these? This is why you guys tune in, gentlemen. Probably a smart pick on your end. You have Caleb, but it's after Shuck and Mayfield and Love, it's Malik Willis, Cam Ward, Sam Darnold. I don't hate those guys, but it's clearly a teardrop.
In more ways than one.
Ooh, this is super grody at tight end right now. Ferguson, Kincaid, and Likely and Goddard available. So a couple tight ends are going to go before I pick. I think you took Dubs. That's a nice pick. This dude is Montana. He has Bowers. He's not taking one. This guy's got Kelsey. He should probably take Ferguson, is my guess.
I thought about Ferguson. I like Ferguson a lot more than you do.
Do I have any 11 eyes? Okay, I don't. There goes Ferguson. So I have an option here for – I want to take Concepcion, but I can pair receivers later. I need this tight end room. I have no tight ends. I have to take Isaiah Likely. I want something I want some early season production. I'm pretty sure Isaiah Likely is going to be a top 10 tight end until Malik Neighbors is on the field and maybe until he's up to full strength. And, Isaiah Likely is the number 2 passing option there in that offense. If people tell you Odell Beckham Jr., you can tell them to take a hike because Odell Beckham is terrible.
Good. Tell me everything.
Okay. They were both here. They were both inside me. Eduardo was in my mouth and Luther was in my butt.
Oh, my God. No, don't tell me everything. What? No, what?
Damn it, Bonnie.
Eduardo who?
Sanchez.
Holy shit. Tell us more.
Then Luther went in Eduardo's butt for a while.
Tell us less. Tell us less.
Then they both completed on each other. I was left out of the finale.
How much Sunny do you watch besides this show? Because I have a litany of clips I play.
I was way behind on Sunny. Didn't watch it for years. Had multiple people, a couple of cousins in particular that are huge on it, and they kept telling me to watch it. And we started watching it just really like 6 months ago. We need to get back to it. Watch the first 2.5 seasons probably, and that's all. The
first 2.5 seasons are the worst. Like the first 3 seasons are not bad. I don't know if you're a Seinfeld guy, but like the first 2 seasons of Seinfeld are bad as well. And then once you get past season 3 of Seinfeld, it's some of the best TV ever made in terms of comedy. And Sunny doesn't have the back end of Sunny is bad because it's been going for 18 years now. But that stretch from season 4 to season 10 is, in my mind, equal to Seinfeld. And you know how the description is perfect description. Ray always brings this up, but I think Rolling Stone named it. I'm going to make my pick here. That Sunny was essentially Seinfeld on crack is what they called it, which makes a lot of sense. Ooh, we have a pretty good option here. Right here. Let's go back to that 1 second. Man, I don't like these receivers at all. Like, at all. I don't love these tight ends at all. This is a bad spot to be in. So let's take Cam Ward. I'm on the Kappa Cam Ward trade. But so they called Sonny the Seinfeld on crack. And I'm a big Bill Simmons fan and a lot of other shows I watch. But I feel like this program is any of those shows on acid. It's like got the good knowledge. We have some awesome guests, but we also talk about crazy ass shit, which no one else is willing to touch. They're not willing to touch it because it's not worth it for their brand, right? People have to be really scared these days about what they say because they will lose advertisers. They will lose, people that are funding them. And like, I don't have any advertisers. So what do I have to lose, Derek? Besides like my wife's respect, maybe.
Fathers. But no, that's the same thing my cousins told me. They said, it starts off, it's not great at first, but just stick it out and make it through. It's one of those things I started watching before basketball season. Once basketball season starts, I stop everything. I just got to get back to it now. And by the way, Montana, you screwed me there. I needed Woody Marks on this team. Jeez.
I need a receiver on this team worth a damn. And there's a couple guys I do like.
Ugh.
I'm sitting with 4 wide receivers right now, guys. It is a little rough. It is.
Look at my backs.
T. Higgins, Ibuka, Marvin Harrison, and Ricky Pearsall. But the running back room is JT, A-Chain, Swift, Warren, and Monungai. So my flex is never going to be a wide receiver, ideally. If I can just pair together, my quarterbacks are kind of weak. Bo Nix and Cam Ward. It's a sit and go. Not worried about stacking. I need a third quarterback, but I'm not taking him here. There goes Dylan Sampson. You just took Sampson?
I had to do it. It's a reach, but
it didn't matter because I don't need him, but I just love playing the clip.
I want to talk to Samson. Climbing to the moon like that bitch Alice Cram.
Love playing the clip, and we're going to get McMillan. Is that a buy situation? It's not. I have Ibuka. I kind of like this option to have another Tampa Bay receiver in a sit and go. Just to give me, a little bit of weekly floor. One of those guys should be able to, not score a touchdown, but have 70 yards with Baker. All right, we're in here. So we have 5 receivers now.
I have Judkins too, so taking Sampson.
There you go. We both did the same thing. All right, I like it. See, we understand how sit and goes work, and sometimes we want to, we limit our upside a little bit, but we need floor at those positions. I need floor at wide receiver. You need floor at running back. That's why we're some of the best in the fucking business doing these drafts, Derek. And you're in your first year of best ball. Motherfucker's a veteran, dude. It's why we call you Chris Kyle, because he was a veteran. Rest in peace, Chris.
Well, I'm a veteran too.
Are you really? That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for your service. I know people say that, and they don't really mean it. I actually mean it. If you watch a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because there's a fucking scene where Jeff's daughter is dating or engaged to a veteran, and he comes in, and it's the first time everyone meeting him, and everyone's like, "Thank you for your service, thank you for your service." And Larry's just like looking around. He's like, "I don't want to say it," so he doesn't say it. He takes it super personal. He's like, everyone else said it, typical Larry David. And a lot of times it gets thrown out. It's like one of those please and thank you thing where like people give you bad apology. Like some apologies are real, some are fake. And if you're just going to say thank you for your service for willy-nilly bullshit, you don't even want it, right, Derek? If someone's going to say it, just say it.
I honestly avoid even talking about it for the most part. But yeah, for sure, if it's just being said because somebody else said it.
Well,
and honestly, I didn't do anything. My brother was in Iraq. My unit was activated and went kind of all over the place. Went to Iraq twice after I was out. Like
you didn't do anything? All right, I rescind my thank you for your service. Like, you know what? You're not getting that from me, buddy, because I want to mean it and I don't mean it. You got awesome benefits from the government. You're doing great because your service. I'm actually pissed, Derek. You know what? I feel like I was sold something that wasn't true. So no, thank you for your service. Oh, kidding, bro.
Have you ever heard?
What? You would have gone there, right? You would have gone there and you would have protected your boys if you were called upon. That's all that matters.
Absolutely, and it's so once you're out, like you're on 2. There's 2 years where you're inactive that they can still come and pull you back in. And
are you scared?
No. That was years ago.
Right.
My inactive years ended in July of 2001. And
you're old, bro.
And then September 2001 was when all hell broke loose, obviously.
You know what Family Guy really missed on in terms of, they make fun of Michael J. Fox a lot because the Parkinson's, which is pretty funny because I'm saying because Curb has done it. Like it's not that like much of a low blow because he makes fun of himself a little bit. They could have had an awesome Chris Kyle, Michael J. Fox cutaway with like Michael J. Fox being Chris Kyle and trying to snipe and like being really unsteady and trying to fucking snipe someone from 200 meters out. Now that's in pretty poor taste, but I think it's a pretty fucking funny joke.
It
And
is.
Family Guy would do. They would do that, right? Because they pull out the punches, dude.
Yeah, my boy.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect Family Guy.
There you go.
Right there.
That's how my mind thinks, because I'm just a very, very, very dark individual. Apparently, that's kind of a Anthony Jeselnik joke right there. That's right on that hit. He would pull that off, right?
He would. You talked about Curb Your Enthusiasm. Big fan of Curb. My wife even more so than me, which is crazy because she's significantly more conservative on stuff like that than I am, but she loved Curb. She's doesn't like Seinfeld as much, feels like Seinfeld is overrated and it was only good because of Larry David. Like, she is a huge Larry David fan.
Very cute.
Oh,
What's his name?
It's Kwame.
Kwame. Nice name. Nice name.
Thank you. I think so too.
It's a little light for Kwame, no?
What?
A lot of names to pick, but it was a little darker, maybe.
Yeah, can you go?
That's very scary.
You need to get out.
Hey, any of you guys want ginger ale?
Here, get the fuck out.
It's funny. And like I said, my wife's pretty conservative, but her favorite episode is the pubic hair in his throat episode.
Oh my God.
You remember that one? Oh man. Good stuff.
You know, it's gonna be so hard because I have a limit. I told you I have a limit on these clips, and some of these mean so much to me. And you know, for next year, probably once draft season starts, I'll retool like half of them. But I have such a hard time clicking delete on some of these, dude, because I know they've been played out, but like they're on here for a reason because A, they're awesome. B, they have like value to the show based on certain situations where I know how to cue them up, because I usually load them up for a certain situation, you know, like any of the Kwame thing, the gun to your head, which is a really good one, the vacuum one, where I gotta freshen up, but I also I'm like a hoarder. I'm like a clip hoarder. I don't want to fucking lose some of these gems, so I have to slowly siphon them out. And I'm gonna be really sad. It's a sad day in hell when I have to lose some absolute gems.
Hey, you ever accidentally masturbate to young pictures of your mom?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
I do. I start a conversation like that all the time to my mother. Like, Mom, do you have any pictures? Like, hey, do you have a picture from 77? I hear that was a good year. We had a pool back then, right, Mom? Yeah. One piece? Do we have a bikini? I'm an idiot.
Maybe Mal too, because he just said his team's going to make him burst.
You know what? I also said the same to my dad. I'm like, hey, Dad, remember that Speedo run you had? I'm doing a segment on the show about Speedos. Can I get that picture?
Your hands are what makes it possible. Your shoulder pads are hard and stiff. Your hands are tender and they can move and caress the ball. that's kind of gay, but hey.
I love how he changes his tone.
I know, shit.
Your hands are kind of soft and they caress.
It's a local clip, man. That's from NIU, Northern Illinois University, which is home to some NFL players. Kenny Galladay went there. I told you. Garrett Wolf went there.
I think I told you I call him my boss. He's in Texas, football is king, obviously, and so the high school football coach is normally going to be your athletic director for your, depending on how big the town is, it's at least going to be for your school and the feeder schools and all of that. So the football coach at my school, he's a Chicago guy, and his brother was the defensive coordinator at where was it? Where are we saying? Where was it?
Yeah, NIU, Northern Illinois, in DeKalb, Illinois, yeah.
Yeah, so he was the defensive coordinator at NIU. He's now at Fresno State. But they're Chicago guys. They're from the area. And he was the defensive coordinator there when they beat Notre Dame a few years ago, right? like in a 13-12
Yes, they
game
did. They were like
yeah.
27-point underdogs in that game, dude.
He was the defensive coordinator for that team.
I'll put it this way, Derek. They didn't have a money line for that game. That's how big of a spread it was. There was no money line to bet on NRU, and they won the game outright.
Fucking Montana, man.
Montana knows
and
it.
You too.
McAuliffe,
You too,
sorry.
Judy.
I missed your comment, McAuliffe. Sorry, we were busy yapping it up here. If Flowers goes down, the next guys in the depth chart are Bateman, Walker, Lane, Surratt. Who's your best bet at wide receiver 1 if Flowers goes down? The answer is neither. The answer is probably Mark Andrews, but the answer is Lamar Jackson's legs, because maybe Surratt's the answer, but I don't think so year one. The better question is, who is the guy you want in best ball? For me, it's Bateman is the safe choice. Surratt's the upside choice. Walker is super efficient on limited touches, not him. And Lane is a project that had 37 receptions or some shit like that at USC last year. So it's Bateman or Surratt. Bateman's going to have his role. He's going to have his X receiver running down the field deep a bunch, catching deep passes role. So I think I prefer Surratt in redraft. I prefer Bateman in best ball. What the hell? Torrey Horton? No! I should have taken him. Fuck you, bro. You.
Hey, did you not do an intro?
I'm just gonna take Malik Washington, I guess. I hate this pick, but I need bodies. I'm so pissed. I am so pissed. What the fuck, man? Why?
Did you not do an intro for today's show?
Yeah, I did. Chris Kyle. That's an American Sniper move. God, you know what's funny? Every other draft I do, like, by myself late at night, because you know the wild thing, you know how much of a degenerate I am? I will draft 3 or 4 teams on this program. We do best ball nights. And then it's 3 a.m. when I lay down finally after I take care of my dogs and chill for a second. And I will sometimes draft 2 fast drafts on my own in, June. That's how much of a fucking idiot I am. And whenever I draft them by myself with no one else in here from the community that knows, all of our rankings and guys we love, I get Torrey Horton he goes undrafted if I don't draft him. And in these drafts, he sometimes goes in the 16th round. And it's a fair pick. It's a great pick, but fuck me. Damn it. Super upset about that. Oh, so I think the team's actually pretty good. I would have really loved that pick. I don't love the pick I just made, and I need something else. I think damn it. It should probably be Stowers. It'd be Stowers all day in a sit and go. But this isn't a pick you guys are going to probably laugh at. But I think this is the right pick. Not even because the stack I have. I think I need a floor guy. And I think the floor guy here is Evan Ingram. A guy that doesn't get drafted very much. And, I like Justin Jolly as a rookie, but he's not going to see the field. Sean Payton hates rookies, bro. Evan Ingram's on this roster. Evan Ingram's a starting tight end there. And let's go there.
I was thinking that the other day. No, we were in a tournament and I had Knicks. And I was looking at that list. Why is Ingram below some of those guys?
Because of last year, he fucked everyone because he was going tight end 10. He was going right. He was actually going before Tucker Kraft last year, which is just wild to think about. LOL says, why high on Horton? So, Torrey Horton had 6 touchdowns last year. It was similar to the Isaac Tesla situation where it was just like every play he made was big. But this was better than Tesla, and I like Tesla. But it's the depth chart, and as high as we are on Rashid Shaheed, there is actually room for Shaheed and Horton to both eat, because I think we all agree that Cooper Kupp's done. Like, you guys say that TJ Hawkinson's dusty. Like, dusty doesn't even describe Cooper Kupp, dude. Cooper Kupp's metrics have fallen the last 4 years. Yeah, he gone. So Torrey Horton is probably a better wide receiver prospect than Shaheed, but Shaheed is an experienced player that is a maven on special teams. That's why they gave him all that money. So Shaheed is the 2. Horton should be the 3. And at this range, you're looking at a team that I think that so Seattle is projected for the 9th most points this year as an offense, and Torrey Horton's the wide receiver 3. We think he's going late because the injury, even though it was just a shin injury, he'll be ready. That's why you tune into the show, because you just got some knowledge dropped on you. 9th most projected points, and that's why we love Shaheed, because he's going in the 13th round as and it's not like they have a great tight end, Derek. Like I like AJ Barner. I think that he's okay, but he's getting drafted super late too. So someone's going to have a lot of value. They're all going to have value based on where they're getting drafted. Someone's going to explode. I think it's Shaheed, but Torrey Horton could still have. He had 6 touchdowns last year. Literally, that's not going to continue with the work he had last year. He's going to have an uptick of work, downtick in efficiency. I think Torrey Horton could have 600 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is a great pick where we're taking him, right?
Agree with that. What are your thoughts on Arroyo, man? Like, he's borderline Ferguson freak athlete at tight end.
Oh, he is. No. He is like borderline DK Metcalf athlete, which is what they've comped him to. Mouth loves Arroyo. I think Arroyo is an injury away or 1 year away. And AJ Barner is still a young player, 24 years old, I believe. They like AJ Barner. They need he is much more professional, right? Like they need someone to be in the right spot, and Arroyo is just not that guy. But they were lining up Arroyo at X, it was for like 6 or 7 snaps a game in the playoffs. But he was on the field in the playoffs playing X receiver. That tells me something. I like Arroyo. We're not touching him in best ball because it is really, really, really risky. Grant says Kupp had a solid Super Bowl performance last year. He did. He also caught 2 touchdowns last year and was on the field a lot all season. So the film is just bad. Cooper Kupp is going to be a Adam Thielen level player back end, what we saw from Adam Thielen last year. He'll be on the field in situational downs. 3rd and 8, Cooper Kupp's on the field.
How many games did Horton play?
Dude, 6, 7.
He had 5 touchdowns. Like
5. Okay, I thought it was 6. 5. Okay, let's get to draft grades, guys. We can talk about these guys all day long. Draft grades, starting out with the first pick here. This is Quaid's team here. Grade time. It's time to play the clip. Good call. Hopefully no one hits this situation.
Looks good to me.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Hey, I got an
Sorry.
A.
Pardon me. Can I just check this out? D+. Oh my God. I passed. I passed. Oh man. I got a D+. I'm gonna graduate. I wish we'd known each other. This is a little awkward. D+.
All right, so we have, I'll tell you this, Quaid, this is Quaid's first sit and go. I like to mix in sit and goes in general on this show because we have 7 or 8 people trying to join the same draft, and that's the best way to get all of us in here. But to kind of give you some floor for your bankroll, because tournaments, if you have a bad year in tournaments, you're going to make like 30% of your money back, 40% of your money back. Sit and goes are a much safer option. You should be able to place in a bunch of these and kind of give you some floor to play more tournaments. That's kind of how I look at it. Let's see how your team did, Quaid. Appreciate you tuning in and drafting with us, brother. We have Jalen Hurts and Tyler Shuck. We have Jahmyr Gibbs, Travion Henderson, J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Brooks, Ray Davis, and Marshawn Lloyd. George Pickens, Rasheed Rice, Luther Burden, Mekhi Lemon, Wan'Dale Robinson, Travis Hunter, Trey Harris, with Gatson, Barner, and Stowers. Why did I feel like I just read off 25 players there? It's because he took 2 quarterbacks, but like, I feel like the running back room is really deep. I hate the Marshawn Lloyd pick. Again, guys, can we please stop drafting Marshawn Lloyd? He gets hurt going to the grocery store. Dude is just not on the radar. They're bringing in someone. They're going to bring in Najee Harris or Trey Benson, and Josh Jacobs is fine as far as we know. Either way, I like Dobbins as a 3, is a nice pairing with Travion Henderson. I think Jonathan Brooks is fine as a 4. Ray Davis, nice upside there as a 5. Receiver room, Lemon I don't love as a 4, but I like the pairing with Wan'Dale Robinson. Hunter, some nice upside. Trey Harris, Gatson, Barner, Stowers. It's a solid sit-and-go team. I'm going to go B-, because I don't love some of the players, but I think it's a pretty good team. Maybe I can go B. You know what? I'm going to go B on this squad. So I think that you hit going with 2 quarterbacks allowed you to have, like I said, I felt like I read 20 players off there, which is a good thing. Really deep at running back and wide receiver, and 3 tight ends. B. Solid B.
I'll say B- only because I think you needed 8 receivers instead of Marshawn Lloyd.
He has 8 receivers. Oh, he has 7. He has 7. It seems like 8. Okay, good call. Good call. So, okay, I might agree with you. I think it would have been a B without Marshawn Lloyd. So that's fair. The Marshawn Lloyd pick we all just don't like. Appreciate you, Quaid. Let's move on to LOL's team. We have Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, and Daniel Jones. Pretty nice quarterback room for waiting. Bijan, Jeremiah Love, Tony Pollard, Jordan Mason, Sean Tucker, and George Halane. I'm getting a little bit of buzz here. I don't love Sean Tucker and George Halane, but I think the top 4 guys are really solid, with Jordan Mason being your 4. Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Chris Godwin, Omar Cooper, Jeremy Bernard, Cooper Kupp, with Trey McBride and Dalton Schultz. This is the Trey McBride build. I like the tight end room. I like the quarterback room. I don't like Tucker and Halane. And I don't really like your back 3 receivers. But your first 4, I really do like, and I think Omar Cooper could carve out a nice niche. This is in the same grade range, C+, B-. You can make an argument for B if you like some of the players, like if you really love some of the players. I just negative Sean Tucker, Halane, and then the last 3 receivers. It's still an above-average team. I do like the build. So I like the build. I'm just not a fan of Cooper Kupp, as we just talked about, and I don't like Sean Tucker and George
Halane. I would agree, and it's same thing as I said for the last team. 8, potentially 9 receivers needed here. Like you might have been okay with just the first 4 running backs, maybe the 5th, and then you add another receiver, because that receiver room you could potentially only have 4, because with 2 rookies that may do nothing, you don't know, and then Cooper Kupp, like we said, dusty, injuries, like you may only have 4 usable receivers. So
agreed, but I love the quarterback room, so I think that's a fair grade. The
quarterback and
obviously the B- range.
Obviously tight end. I love the tight end room. McBride, and then get Schultz that late. Like that's really solid there. And I love those
Chris
first
Kyle, we got to go to your team. We have Caleb Williams and Sam Darnold at quarterback, Quinshon Judkins, Chuba Hubbard, Kenny Gainwell, JCM, Dylan Sampson, and Tank Bigsby. You really tied this room together pretty well at the end there. Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith is your 3, Josh Downs, Romeo Doubs, Ted Hurst, Torrey Horton, and Tyquan Thornton, 2 of my personal favorites. Shit, my bad. I didn't have this tab open. This is better. Sorry about that. I'm drunk. So Josh Downs is your 4, Doubs, Ted Hurst, Torrey Horton, Tyquan Thornton, with Colson Loveland and Gunnar Helm. Nice tight end room. I wish I like the Gunnar Helm with Bowers or McBride. I don't necessarily love it with Colson Loveland as much as I like Loveland. I feel like that's a little thin there. And the quarterback room is 2. You had to do it, though, because your running back situation. You definitely had to. Again, this is not your typical Chris Kyle American Sniper team. It's pretty decent. I'm gonna give it the same grade. This might be a little better than the other teams, but maybe a B at best. At best, it's a B, bro. At best. Eat that. Eat a dick, Derek. Do it. What do you got? You like it?
Yeah, I don't love the team. I do agree that I think I was able to put the running back room together with what I started with, and I probably did need a 3rd tight end. But I really didn't want to go with 7 receivers. Wanted to take that 8th, so I'd say probably B-.
All right, moving on to Montana's team. Guys, if you're in here and you're not subbed to the channel, definitely what are you doing? That is totally free. If you want to actually join, support the show, join the community, it's late at night. We're on here literally, we're on 3 hours and 24 minutes right now. We're on over 3 hours every single night, and it's June. Wait till the season starts. The cavalcade of guests. We have fans in the show. Like Mr. Free Throw right here, Derek, who gets to come on and draft with us. Mouth, you name it. Dakota, you're coming on soon. A lot of perks we offer. Go to the link in the description. Go to the website, professionalfanatics.com. Join us. Join these awesome people. Also, support your boy. Keep the show going strong because we're never stopping. I'm going to go as long as I can. Montana, Jackson Dart, Jordan Love, and Fernando Mendoza at quarterback. Travis Etienne, Cam Scatterbo, Chris Rodriguez, Woody Marks, Jonah Coleman, and Jordan James. Puka, Jamison Williams, Parker Washington, Quentin Johnston, Xavier Worthy, Ryan Flournoy, Calvin Ridley, with Brock Bowers and Terrence Ferguson. He did not take Darnell Washington this draft. Hell yes, brother. You're on the road to recovery. I like the Ferguson and Bowers pairing. That is fair. I hate Parker Washington as a 3. Johnson's fine, but I love Worthy, Flournoy, and Calvin Ridley. I feel like that ties the room together pretty nicely. And I don't know. It's fine. It's not your better team, Montana. This is around the same grade as the first 2. I'm going to go C+ to B- in the squad. Although Brock Bowers is fucking tasty. I just don't like Parker Washington as my 3. You got him right at ADP. I think his ADP is too high. And then Jonah Coleman and Jordan James. Although I think the top 4 are okay. Woody Marks is your 4. I'm going to go C+ in the squad.
I think so too. Parker Washington, particularly in a half PPR, that's rough being the 3 there. And then, like, the running back room is good. I don't think you needed Jordan James. Feel like you needed a 3rd tight end. And, I mean, it's Brock Bowers. He's going to dominate that room. And I'd love Terrence Ferguson. I love his upside. He's going to have some spikes. But to not have, like, a more solid 2nd tight end, I don't love that.
All right, we have to move on to my squad. All right, I'm trying to do some math here. It's 1:35. We're at 3.5 hours. Can you handle that draft, Eric? Because it's getting late. I don't want to keep you too late. I'm not saying I have to get off, and I never have to get off, but I am definitely feeling a little fucking drunk.
Yeah.
So I could always handle. But you know what? We're definitely going to do 2 on Friday night. I'll say this. If we get a community member from one of you guys, you want to join right now, and you want to draft with us or not draft with us, just to be a nice guy and also get us another draft for some contents, we will do another draft. Whether it's me, whether it's Derek. Well, me for sure. If Derek wants to stay on, we'll do that. We're going to finish draft grades and chat for a little bit. But
I'll stay if we get somebody to join.
There you go. Because we're going to do it. It'll be 4.5 hours, and it's just I've just done so many 4.5 hour shows, and like it's a lot. And I have a lot of stuff coming up the next couple of days. Cry Me a River, right? Let's go to my team and see what you think. I don't know if you're going to like it personally, but Bo Nix and Cam. Oh, well, I guess I forgot about that 3rd quarterback that I was supposed to take. See exactly what I'm talking about. I forgot about that 3rd quarterback that I was supposed to take, and we have Bo Nix and Cam Ward. We have JT, Devin Achane, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, and Kyle Monangai. We have T. Higgins, Emeka Ibuka, Marvin Harrison, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan, Isaac Tesla, Jerry Jeudy, Malik Washington, with Isaiah Likely, TJ Hockenson, and Evan Ingram. I chose Evan Ingram over a 3rd quarterback because I'm hammered and not paying attention. I think this team could still pull it off. This needs a Cam Ward breakout and Bo Nix to actually be consistent. But that is a faux pas, dude. That is a faux pas here. And fuck, I needed Geno Smith in this team. I needed it.
I would agree. I feel like you could have made it with Likely and Hawkinson for sure. Love the running back room, man. The running back room is perfection.
Well built, bro. It's well built. Wide receivers are good too.
Receivers are good. To take your first receiver at 30, it's really good there. And the only thing is that 3rd quarterback. So
I know I needed it. I really, really, really needed it. But let me see here. All right. Well, don't give me shit. Like, I know Mouthy recorded you do 1 show a week, man. I know you actually have a job. We can't go tit for tat. I'm just trying to simply say if we do another draft, it's going to be a 4.5 hour stream, which I do a lot of. And I'm not trying to, like, cry me a river over here. It's just it's a fucking long night. I'm fucking hammered. I just literally drafted I just drafted Evan Ingram over a 3rd quarterback, which, I don't make a lot of mistakes. That is a mistake. That was a mistake. This has the potential to be an A squad. If I get Geno, now Geno was already gone, but maybe Brissett, maybe even a Michael Penix, or give me Deshaun Watson, right? Just someone Somebody. Oh, thank you, Derek. The hot show is. So how do we even grade this team? I mean, it's not as bad. Oh, thank you, Mouth. I got you. And I know you're the true fucking warrior over here. The quarterback room is bad. Can this quarterback room be pulled off with just these two? Can it be? I don't know if it can be. It's really risky. It's much better in a tournament than a sit and go.
Yeah. I gotta go C with the quarterback.
He's hating it.
Situation.
He's hating it. I know. Trust me. It's not ideal. I'm going to chalk that up to Evan Ingram. God damn it. Mouth thinks it can. I don't know. I just wish I had a third quarterback. This team would be singing a whole different praise to this squad.
And even I just don't love Bo Nix. I don't trust him that much. So like even if you had a stronger and you took Bo Nix before like I took Darnold later.
No, I took Bo Nix super late. Like I got good value at my guys, and the plan. I don't know what I was doing. Whatever. Mouse team. You're gonna move on from that shitty squad. Gino and Joe Burrow. Nice. Kind of like that. See, that's a good two quarterback room because you have the set it and forget it guy. Watson. Dakota says Watson would have been a number one on this team. Okay, that's a little bit too much. Ashton Genty, Kenneth Walker, Blake Corum, Zach Charbonnet, and Mike Washington. This is I like the Mike Washington Genty pairing in a sit and go. And Zach Charbonnet shouldn't have to be used for a while, so this is a pretty good running back room. Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, Jacoby Myers, Matthew Golden, Juwan Jennings, and Adonai Mitchell. With Dalton Kincaid, Kenyon Sadiq, and Mike Gesicki. I feel like some of these picks are stack picks, which I don't love in a sit and go, but all things considered, this running back room's good. Cortland Sutton as a 4 is fine. Myers, Golden, so those go really deep. Jennings and Mitchell, this is a really, really, really good team. B+, bro. I'm going B+ in the squad.
Golden as his 6 is crazy. That's
very
good.
It's very good.
A really good team. It's one of Mouth's better teams, in my opinion. I don't want to make him bust, but
well, he already busted. He can't bust again. I mean, maybe he could, but
not lefty. But he.
Nobody can bust lefty.
He can't masturbate. He can't make it come out.
He can't go left?
No, he can't go to his left. Can you go to your left?
Nah, nobody can.
No one can.
Hard, It's funny, though. There's other things I can do lefty. I can eat lefty. I can brush my teeth lefty.
There's a big difference. You need rotation. You need tempo. You need feel.
Season. I think you learn a lot. In fact, you learn a heck of a lot more when things aren't going well than when it is going well. And I learned a lot.
Mouth is lefty, so you can't go righty, brother. We have Connor's team, last of the bunch. Jaden Daniels and Matt Stafford. Well-made quarterback room. A little better than Bo Nix and Cam Ward, if I might say so myself. Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery. David Montgomery really early here. He took him 11 picks early, but I love David Montgomery. Kind of taking a little bit of value away there. But Josh Jacobs, David Montgomery, RJ Harvey, Isaiah Pacheco, and Tyler Algier. You got some of my guys here, which I appreciate. Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Jaden Reed, Casey Concepcion, Debo, Zach Branch, Tank Dell, Troy Franklin, and Keon Coleman with Tyler Warren and Kyle Pitts. Ooh. I mean, you just spammed receivers. Your running back room is pretty hot. I mean, I guess you could say it's a little light, but I think Pacheco is a fine 4. Algier, the quarterbacks, fuck. This might be the best. Is this crazy to say it's the best team? The receivers are light. So
I think Connor won the draft.
Jaden Reed is a 3 I don't love. I don't like Concepcion. I don't like where they're slotted at. But the fact you have Branch, Dell, I don't like Franklin at all, period. That doesn't even count as a receiver. But Keon Coleman, like, you don't need him because you have really good tight ends. Your running back room is pretty balanced, and your quarterback room is super elite. So it's not it's a B+, but it's the best B+ we had. I think I like this team the most because of the balance. Like Reed, Concepcion, Debo will sign somewhere, and then Tank Dell, Zach Branch. Like, these guys are going to get some decent weeks. And JJ and AJ Brown, like, those two will be in your lineup almost every week. Maybe I'm overrating this team, but I think it's really good. I give it an A for build and a B+ for team.
I like this team a lot. Stafford at 110, crazy.
Yeah, I should have taken him, and then I would have had Stafford and Cam Ward, and maybe feel a little better about that. But
I think Connor and Mouse team to me were the best two.
Yeah, Mouth. Okay, so those are the best two by a mile, and I'm still thinking about my quarterback room, which is not ideal. And that was, I made a couple mistakes tonight that I usually don't make, and it happens. The first one was that stupid Sean Tucker pick, which was the app fucking me and not setting my cue. The last one was just me just not paying attention, which never happens. So I'm gonna take that as a sign, like I need to fucking lay down, because I don't do that ever. That was embarrassing. Connor, hell of a team. Mouth, hell of a team. Derek, hell of a night. 3.5 hours, bro. You hang on there for 3.5 hours. That's pretty impressive. It's a long stream.
And I have a morning practice, so.
How early is that your practice?
9. But I've got a.
You're Central Time though, right? So it's 1:44.
45-minute commute. Yeah, I'm Central.
40-minute commute?
And weekday traffic, yeah.
Why do you got to do that? Why do you drive so far?
Well, it's not. It's honestly, it's not really that far. It's like 19 miles, but I'm out in the suburbs, and where I work. So the town I live in is Princeton. Princeton, Texas is last year was the fastest growing city in the nation. And the traffic is just getting more and more ridiculous. The infrastructure is not caught up yet. So
your school's in the inner city, you're saying, like in the city?
It's still suburbs, but it's more city. The DFW Metroplex is ridiculous. Like, it's just so sprawling and it's everywhere.
If you said inner city, I would have made a Don Imus joke about the girls on your team. I wasn't going to say the joke. I was just going to reference Don Imus because I'm an idiot. And we all know that quote, which I will not repeat because Don Imus is an idiot. But, see, my mind just goes in the weirdest directions when I hear your, like I compare those things, what you just said, and I think of Don Imus. I have serious problems, Derek. Like, serious.
There is some truth to that. But
definitely truth, but I shouldn't be thinking that. I don't agree with the statements. I don't agree with the statements, Derek. Can I put that on record? Don Imus, you're an old curmudgeon, different time. You were wrong, and you should have been fired. I think he did get fired, so there you go.
Yep. Yeah, my best player flies out tomorrow morning to Colorado Springs, and then they're headed to the Czech Republic. She's playing for the 17U Team USA basketball team that'll play.
Can any of these girls beat you one-on-one?
She probably can.
Have you ever played her?
At my age.
Come on, man. Throw your weight around a little bit.
I definitely have to back her down in the post, but she's pretty strong. She's tough.
How tall is she?
She's pushing 5'10". 5'10" guard, just strong. She's really, really good. And she's playing on the 17U team. She's just barely turned 16.
Oh, no shit. So she might be 6'2", 6'1". Girls actually grow faster than guys, so she might be maxed out. Way different world, though. Like, size doesn't quite matter. I mean, there's, obviously Jalen Brunson just essentially won. He was the best player in the NBA last year, and how tall is Jalen Brunson? Fucking 6 foot if he's lucky.
Yeah, I think they claim he's like 6'2", but
how many Jalen Brunsons are there in the NBA? You know what I mean? It's just not. We didn't talk a lot of NBA. I know you're a big NBA guy, and the Mavericks have to be kicking themselves for many things. Like the Jalen Brunson thing, I get the Luka thing a little bit just because how out of shape and how lazy he was there in Dallas. Like Jalen Brunson is the opposite of that. As much as I want to talk shit about Jalen Brunson being a flopper, he is a hard ass worker and a great teammate. And like they didn't want to pay. What was it, like a $3 million difference? They didn't want to pay. Idiots, dude.
No, Idiots I've seen Brunson's dad talk about it. They could have signed him the whole time, and they waited what they were trying to do was just lowball, and that's where they screwed up. They let him onto the market thinking that they could match, and there was no way they were going to pay what the Knicks did. And yeah, they screwed that up. Drafted both those guys in the same draft. One of them,
second round pick too.
One of them just led the NBA in scoring, and the other one was the MVP of the finals and won a championship. And they're both on the other teams.
Well,
but I'm fine with that. Even though I live in Dallas, I'm not a Mavs fan, so fuck them.
Who do you like? Oh, you're a Spurs fan.
Spurs. I was born in San Antonio. I'm a lifetime Spurs fan.
Wemby sucks, bro. I'm just kidding. Give me this. Give me the percentage chance that Wemby has the career that LeBron James had. It still has. Still playing, but
I think there's a pretty high percentage, but I mean those
high
guys,
percentage.
Yeah, like he'll play 20-something years in his numbers. Like he already has.
Wemby is going to play 20-something years
if he stays healthy, and you didn't let me get to that part. The trouble is
that's the only thing that matters.
The guys that are that tall, have those lower leg injuries.
Except for Kevin Durant, he's actually played, but he is not Wemby. You know what I mean? Dakota's still on here. I want to get your opinion real quick. I think you said LeBron is your second best player of all time. Is that a fact?
My list.
Yeah,
I put LeBron. I begrudgingly put him number 2
because you don't respect the man. You don't like his game. What is it?
And it's about to get worse because he's fixing to leave and go to Golden State and try to do.
He's leaving. Whatever, dude. Everyone does.
Stay somewhere and win championships where you are, man.
Okay.
You're the greatest player supposedly, so like get players to come to you.
You should definitely punish Kevin Durant more because he's been worse at that than LeBron.
Oh, sure. I hate Kevin Durant.
Okay, so give me your top 5. Do you have your top 5 at the top of your head before we get off here?
Of all time?
Yeah. So MJ at 1, LeBron at 2.
MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, and it's always that 5th spot's always tough. I mean, I think I've got Kobe there now. I feel like Kobe, because he passed away, gets inflated a little bit, but it's Kobe or Larry Bird.
See, that's a very, very level-headed list because you just told me that not that you hate LeBron, but you're punishing LeBron at least for the other stuff, which is totally fair. I understand that. It's not, again, that's more in my mind a punishing of the era, right? Because it's not just LeBron. And people say that LeBron started this whole thing. I don't think so because Charles Barkley did it. I mean, people have been doing this shit for years. Karl Malone left to go to the Lakers. That didn't work. Gary Payton. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. LeBron's done it a little bit more, but this era is doing it all the time. But you have LeBron at 2 with all those things being said. And I guess I'm going to ask you this. Who's number 3 for you, Kareem?
Yeah.
Is LeBron closer to Kareem or Jordan? Like, think of it like a tier system in fantasy football. Like, if you're doing tiers.
He's closer to Kareem.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, Jordan is. And the thing is, I wasn't a Jordan fan at the time, kind of like I wasn't a Brady fan. Like, I unless that's my team, like, I always root against those guys. But I can acknowledge and recognize that he was the greatest there ever was. Like,
yeah, it's the best peak of any athlete in the history of the world. Tiger Woods and LeBron and MJ. If you want to don't count like tennis and sports like that. I'm talking about mainstream sports. Even Tom Brady didn't have the peak. Tom Brady is much more of a LeBron parallel, but more championships. Like, it's MJ had that, the retirement mixed in, which kind of helped him because I feel like MJ would have lost a championship in between those 3 because he was getting worn out, dude. Like, the dude was playing every minute, every game. He needed that break, physically and mentally. But it actually worked out in his favor because it's like he won 6 in a row technically, and you don't count the year he came back. He wasn't in shape. Like, it was, we're never going to see another Michael Jordan. I don't think we're ever going to see another LeBron James because different arguments like the longevity of extended greatness. Who is ever going to play that long? We're never going to see another Tom Brady. You have to be a psychopath and also have the best genes ever and awesome luck to be like a top player for 23 years. Like, what are we, 23 years, dude? Like, the way I always put it, I'm 38 years old. I'm getting up there a little bit, dude. LeBron was a rookie when I was a freshman in high school, and he's still playing at the top 15 level. Isn't that just mind blowing? You know, the game of basketball, dude.
And he's
I'll
admit LeBron's a freak, and he's the best, like the most skilled, the most freakish athlete. He just didn't. Jordan's mentality is what separates him from anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you factor it all in, LeBron is
LeBron's a beta. He's a beta. I mean,
he's the best. He may be the best overall basketball player of all time, but Jordan is the GOAT because of just his competitive edge, and you add that to his athleticism and his skill. And
Dude.
people talk about the era and whether he couldn't, shoot the three or whatever. It didn't matter. Whatever era Jordan would have played in, you stick him in any era, he's going to adapt to that, because that's his competitive edge wouldn't let him not, like he is going to find a way. And so if he's got to improve his 3-point shot or whatever, like Jordan is still going to be that guy.
Agreed, dude. Super awesome conversation. Super awesome show. Almost 4 hours. Derek, you're the GOAT. You're the American Sniper. You're Chris Kyle. Really enjoyed having you on, man. And don't be a stranger. We're going to have you on at least one more time, maybe a couple more times drafting on here, because this was an absolute blast. And just stop sniping my players, brother. Can you stop doing that, please?
Hey, no promises. No promises.
All right, what a great show. Everyone give Derek a round of applause. First show. I mean, he came on the Dynasty show. That was a cameo, essentially. This was a full-fledged co-starring role here. We're going to give him the Oscar for the best co-star, whatever. At least for today, I think you actually did an awesome job. And you know your shit. Super level-headed, super great person. Also, I don't know you that personally, but I'm guessing you're one of the best dads ever. I just want to say your daughters are super lucky to have you as a father, as anyone would be. I'm sure your friends are lucky. Your wife, everyone's probably really lucky to have you in their life, and I am as well, because what a great addition and what a great guy. We are just privileged to have you grace us with our presence. And I slurp you down a little bit as well. Then I'd say you suck ass because you take my players. But like from the bottom of my heart, dude, you're a fucking great dude. And like we need 20 more of Derek's in this community, and then we'll really be going somewhere.
Appreciate that. Thank you for having me. Like I said, I support what you're doing, love what you're doing, and it's been fun.
Hell yeah, boys. We almost did 4 hours. We love everyone here. Appreciate all the supers. Again, Derek for showing up. Tomorrow night, we have the Chaz coming on. We're doing quarterback tiers. We're breaking down everything, deep diving into quarterbacks. And then Thursday, Mike Storey, we're doing polarizing players, Jekyll and Hyde players that are going to have very big disparity. We're going to see if we buy or sell it, what's the range of outcomes, all that kind of stuff. And then Friday, Big Ray, we're going to draft some more. We're going to see all you guys soon. Derek, again, thank you. Everyone else, appreciate you. Love your life. Stay positive and respect each other. We're out.
You just seem like a good dude. I thought I'd see if you wanted to grab a beer, that's all. I'm glad you called. We get home safe, Pistol.
You got it, Jobin.
I'm sorry, what? Nothing. Oh, what'd you say?
I don't know. You nicknamed me Pistol, and I just called you Jobin. It means nothing. I'm drunk. I'm gonna call a cab.
All right, man. You have my number, yeah?
I got you stored in my iPhone.